p.m. It's the Houston Oilers versus the Cincinnati Bengals. Brought to you by the new generation of Oldsmobile. Step into the future now at your Oldsmobile dealer. By Budweiser. Beechwood Age for that clean, crisp taste. This buzz for you. And by AT&T, the right choice.
Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to Riverfront Stadium. Today, the Cincinnati Bengals hosting the Houston Oilers. The weather, well, it's on the cool side. We've had rain. The forecast is for more. I'm Charlie Jones. This is Jimmy Cefalo. If we do have more rain, which team will it help? Which will it hinder?
Well, I think with the rain, it usually helps a running attack, and that today is the Houston Oilers. A strong offensive line with good running backs. If there is an advantage, it is to Houston today.
Speaking of the Houston Oilers, Warren Moon is back coming off of that shoulder injury. Played well last week.
Yeah, he certainly did. It's important to note that he's only played 5 quarters all season long because of the injury. But Jerry Glanville said to him right after he was injured, in order for us to win a championship, we've got to be in contention when you come back from that injury. And they did that. The Oilers went 4-2 while he was injured, and they are in contention today. Also, it opens up the offense now that he's back on track. They use a 4-receiver offense. They did not use it often because they did not have enough confidence in their backup quarterbacks before.
For the Cincinnati Bengals, Boomer Esiason having a great year up until last week against New England.
Yeah, but that is a bit misleading. He threw 5 interceptions last week, but some balls were tipped. He threw a Hail Mary pass at the end of the contest, which was intercepted. He's a good quarterback, maybe the most accurate in football today, and he has an innovative offense in which to run. They use a no-huddle set in which they come right to the line of scrimmage without a huddle. They use something called a sugar huddle. It's short and sweet, about 4 yards behind the line of scrimmage. Interesting contest today.
This is a showdown in the Central Division, but how important is this game?
Very important. Important to Houston because if they lose it, they'd be 2 games back. Important to Cincinnati because if they lose 2 in a row, it would mean that the confidence built up in that 6-game winning streak would be lost.
Here are the standings in the Central Division. Cincinnati on top with a 6-1. Houston just a step behind them with a record of 5-2. Cincinnati won the toss. They'll be receiving, and that means that Tony Zimbejas will be kicking off. And this kickoff is sponsored by Budweiser, the king of beer. Ira Hillary is the deep back on the return. And will be taken on the near side at the 14-yard line by Barney Busby. And so Cincinnati will go to work very quickly. And they will come out in their attack mode. They will not be going to a huddle. Quickly here as they look at the offense. We'll try and get as much in as we have time. Esiason, Brooks, Woods, McGee, Brown, and Holman. They are setting up a huddle now. Munoz, Reimers, Kozerski, Montoya, and Walter, that offensive line. And so Cincinnati using a huddle here as they start from their own 23-yard line. Ickey Woods is the remaining back, 2 tight ends. Esiason dumps it off to Ickey Woods. The coverage was there deep. 33, maybe the 34-yard line. Could have 11 and the first down. And Cincinnati opens with the first down. They are not going with a huddle. Childress, Smith, and Fuller. Lyles, Grimsey, Smith, and Meads. Brown, Allen, Bostic, and Donaldson. We got them in. I didn't think we'd have time to do it.
Actually, Charlie, this attack mode takes a little bit longer than a normal huddle, but they like it up there because it forces the defense to be in a ready position the entire time.
Boomer looks left and back to the right side and is on target. He goes to Eddie Brown. Back-to-back first down. Houston 41-yard line.
Well, this is what I talked about when I mentioned the accuracy of Boomer Esiason. This was going to be a play where he hit a quick slant, but it wasn't open. They were in a double zone where the cornerback is rolled up, and Eddie Brown adjusted to it going down the sideline, and Esiason had to get it just beyond the outstretched arms of number 24, Steve Brown.
25 yards, Houston 41-yard line. Double tight end, Riggs and Holman. Ickey Woods, the remaining back. Ball is loose, and a scramble for it. And Cincinnati recovers. It was close. Houston had that opportunity and couldn't find the loose ball.
Now, this is the problem Ickey Woods has been having. He fumbled a week ago against New England. He slipped on the turf several times. It's been rough for the rookie in the last 4 or 5 quarters. It's a good handoff by Esiason, but Ickey Woods actually reached for the football. That's not what you want to do. You let the quarterback stick it in there. A chance for Bostic to get it. Ickey Woods slips in there and almost gets it back. And a good play by Esiason to force the ball out of bounds. Actually, he got it just before it went out.
So Esiason recovers the fumble. The ball goes back to the 46-yard line. We call it the 45, second down and 14. James Brooks is in. He now comes in motion. Esiason to throw. All alone is Brooks at the 35. He's to the 30, the 25, the 20, and out of bounds. James Brooks, who is playing with a broken left hand. Jeff Donaldson finally got him. Only his 13th reception on the year.
And this is an obvious mistake by the defense of the Houston Oilers as the Bengals go right back into their attack mode. A week ago against New England, the Patriots dropped off about 25 yards deep. Look at all the room they're giving Brooks and the rest of the Bengal offense, but this is a mistake. It's one thing to force Esiason to go underneath. It's another thing to give Brooks 15 and 20 yards at a clip.
27 yards. First down at the Houston 18-yard line. Opening drive of the ball game. We have no score. Ickey Woods back to the line of scrimmage, where it'll be second down, and he's cut down by Johnny Meade. Second down and 10.
We saw Woods at the Hula Bowl a year ago, Charlie, if you remember, and the scouts then were telling us that he was a player to be reckoned with, big and strong, good speed. He's shown terrific instincts as a fullback in this offense. However, he's got to be able to hang on the football if he's going to be effective in the NFL.
Boomer Esiason, 3 of 3, 64 yards. Back to throw. Good protection. Drops it off to Ickey Woods. 10-yard line. Gain of 8. It'll be third down and 2, and Al Smith, the inside weak linebacker, is the man who brought him down.
Charlie, usually in the NFL, coaches love to imitate. When you take a look at the New England Patriots of a week ago, the team that beat Sam watching the Bengals, they ran a defense where the big zones were in vogue. They dropped off 20, 25 yards deep. They took away the deep passing game from Boomer Esiason. That's what's happening out there today, but he's learned to take the underneath stuff, and so far the Bengals are having a lot of success with it.
First down, 4-yard line, maybe the 3, Ickey Woods. Patrick Allen finally stopped him. They'll mark it at the 3, a gain of 7. It'll be first down and goal to go.
The Bengals usually like a quick trap. Let's see if they do it now with Ickey Woods. No, it's not just straight blocking down front. Good block in front by number 65. That's Max Montoya, allowing Woods to get the first down.
Number 31, Ickey Woods, and number 32, Stanley Wilson, now joins him in the backfield. So you have 2 fullbacks at running back. And Holman is the flanker. So they go with a big offensive front, first down and goal to go. The second back through is Ickey Woods. Behind Stanley Wilson, 1-yard line. It'll be second down and goal to go. Patrick Allen, with a lot of help, makes the tackle at the 1-yard line. We have not had a flag in the ball game with 9:58 and counting time remaining, first quarter opening drive.
And that's important for Houston. They are averaging more than 100 yards per game in penalties. That means that the other team has a 100-yard advantage right at the get-go, and it's important for them to stay clean this afternoon.
Ickey Woods, touchdown.
I have never seen that kind of a victory dance before in my life.
That's the Ickey dance.
The Ickey hop.
A 77-yard drive in 9 plays. Jim Breach to attempt the point after, and it is good. The score is Cincinnati 7 and Houston nothing with 9:38 left to go. We're in the first quarter. 87. And Lee Johnson will be kicking off for Cincinnati. The Bengals possibly the only team in the National Football League to carry 3 kickers. Lee Johnson, Jim Breach, and Scott Fulhaig. Let's go back to the touchdown.
Here's a look at the touchdown. The big block by Anthony Munoz, number 78, moving the whole and the entire line, the pile down. He actually plays tight end in this formation on the goal line. And you'll see the block by Holman as well, getting knocked down, but he provided enough of a hole with Montoya's initial block inside to allow Icky to do the Icky strut.
Icky stomp.
Icky hop.
Icky poo. No. At the second time, the ball has fallen off of the tee, and as soon as we get it all set up, this kickoff is sponsored by Budweiser, the king of beer. Lee Johnson, formerly with the Houston Oilers, and he sails a very good hang time on the kickoff, taken a yard deep by Leonard Harris. The ball pops loose. Cincinnati says they have it. They come up with it. The play may not have been blown dead. If not, the Bengals are up 13-0. Jim Riggs came up with it. Officials are marking the ball at the 2-yard line. It is going to be a touchdown.
But we have not yet seen it obviously is a touchdown because they were marking it for 2. Let's try to find out exactly what happened, why there is such confusion.
I'm sure the delay on the field now is for it to be reviewed.
Now there's the big hit. It's obviously a fumble. The ball is out. But what happens to it now is the question. Now there's the recovery. He's on the ground and being touched by another player. The ball should be marked right there, Charlie. He was on the ground, leaning on another player. The ball should be down. Riggs does not have a touchdown.
Then by review, they should bring it back. Let's see if they do. You're looking for indisputable evidence to overturn. Chuck Heberling is the replay official.
See, the rule is that you just have to be touched. It doesn't matter if you're being touched from the bottom or from the top.
After further review, Cincinnati's ball on the 19. He was in contact with the Houston man. First down.
That's a good call. That is the correct call. So the fumble recovery by Jim Riggs, and Cincinnati has the ball at the Houston 19-yard line, first down.
There's another look at it. Now again, there's no question about the fumble. That's not where the dispute comes in. It's a good hit by the entire pile. When the ball is loose, now here's the point. Riggs falls on it, number 87, and the player underneath, who can't get his number, is in contact with him. That means the ball is down, both his knees are there, and so it's a good call by the officials. The Bengals ball at the 19-yard line, first and 10.
And let's see if Esiason goes right to the end zone. Collinsworth is in as the receiver. A flag is down, end zone. It is caught. No. Collinsworth, right on the back edge, did not come down with both feet in bounds. There is a flag on the play. Patrick Allen had the coverage.
But Esiason had a couple of choices, Charlie. 2 people were wide open in the end zone. Let's take a look at his feet. Got to get both of them in, remember, and you can't tell from that angle because he's being obscured by number 29, Patrick Allen.
79, first down.
And another flag. There is another flag. Go ahead.
Can we see that again, Charlie?
2 more flags have flown in the discussion that's going on live on the field.
Extra distance to the goal line.
That's on Doug Smith of the Houston Oilers.
And let's take a look at it again. It's initially obscured by number 29, Patrick Allen, but that's 1 foot. That's 2 feet. That is a catch, and that is a touchdown.
The official says no. Now that can be reviewed, whether or not he is in bounds. Meanwhile, with the flags in the penalties against the Houston Oilers, the ball has moved to the 7-yard line, and it's going to be first down and goal to go. And apparently the officials are not reviewing that catch. I'm surprised. Either that or they reviewed it and already made a decision.
Now, a week ago, Chris Collinsworth had a touchdown taken away when a play was allowed to stand, when a touchdown was obvious by the replay, according to many observers, including me. Seems like it's happened to him again.
And here is Brooks. Touchdown.
This time the Bengals go to the other side. They went right the first time, left the first time, coming back to the right between Bruce Reimers, Anthony Munoz, and Bruce Kozerski. And that touchdown that was taken away from Chris Collinsworth really doesn't matter because Brooks gets it on the very next play.
It matters to Collinsworth.
It sure does.
And the extra point is good. And Cincinnati is up 14-0. The second touchdown coming only 28 seconds after the first. Back to the kickoff. Just a couple of minutes late. New Orleans on top of the Raiders by 3. No-score Giants in Atlanta. Tampa Bay up 3 over Minnesota. No-score England Buffalo. Pittsburgh leading Denver. Oh, early upset working. Dallas in front of Philadelphia. There's another. That's a big grudge match. No-score Detroit, Kansas City. And here it is Cincinnati 14, Houston nothing. There's still 9 minutes and 10 seconds left to go in the first quarter, and Lee Johnson will be kicking off again. This time, Kenny Johnson, no relation, is the deep back on the return. It was Harris who fumbled at the 19-yard line. That was recovered by Cincinnati. And this is taken at the 8-yard line on the far side by the left wing, Alan Pinkett. And Houston will finally move on offense for the first time. Ed Brady made the tackle. Warren Moon, Highsmith, Rozier, Hill, Gibbons, and Williams as we look at the offense. Davis, Munchak, Pitchen, Matthews, and Steinfield. So Houston at their own 25-yard line, first down.
This could be a problem for Moon. He's been standing on the sideline since pregame warm-ups. Remember, 2 successive offensive formations for the Bengals. And because of the injury to the shoulder, he may be a little tighter than he wants to be as the game begins for him.
And Moon gives off to Rozier. 4 yards to the 29. It'll be second down and 6. And, of course, last week against New England, Rozier was the load offensively, and particularly in the opening drive. McClendon, Crumley, and Scow. And Crumley and Scow teamed up in the last half. So White, Zander, Kelly, and Williams, and there'll probably be Barker in there rather than Kelly. Billups, Thomas, Fulcher, and Wilcox in the secondary. Second and 6 at the 29. Moon to throw. Good defensive throw. Gibbons the intended receiver. And Lewis Billups was there. Good coverage. Third down and 6 at the 29.
Now Moon went into a package, or he had the zone coverage back there. See 3 players all along the line and 24 Billups. There was really no chance for Ernest Gibbons, number 81, to get that pass. Moon should have really tossed it out of bounds. A dangerous throw.
We talked to Warren yesterday. He said he was hoping to see more man coverage than zone coverage. But in a man coverage, you feel that he could break the big one. Saw Joe Vandal, the head coach of the Houston Oilers. Their record is 5-2. Cincinnati is 6-1. Moon to throw. Intercepted. Cincinnati has the ball. With the interception.
You mentioned they wanted more man-to-man coverage. This is not man-to-man. It looks like it, but it's actually a combination zone. You see the safeties standing by to get some help. And that's why Eric Thomas, number 22, is able to step in front of Gibbons, because he's got help from the backside from number 33, David Fulcher.
And that is his 4th interception on the year. And Esiason scrambles, pump fakes. He'll go to the sideline.
Danger with that defense, Charlie. When you look at it as a quarterback, if you read man-to-man coverage, you're in trouble, because the defenders underneath have got help deep, and they don't have to worry about the deep route, and that's what really allowed Eric Thomas to cut underneath and make that interception.
They'll mark at the 35-yard line, so it's a gain of 1 as you watch Sam Whiteside, coach of the Cincinnati Bengals. 2nd down and 9. 2 turnovers, a fumble recovery, and an interception. Cincinnati leading 14-0. Ricky Woods slides down the line, slides all the way to the 31-yard line. He has 4. It'll be 3rd down and 5 as Al Smith makes the tackle. Ricky Woods with the first touchdown of the ballgame, his 7th of the season. Cincinnati in the action mode, not going to the huddle. They'll stay with their offensive personality. They do not want the defense to have a chance to change. Pass is complete. Rodney Holman. And again, it is Al Smith who makes the tackle. He's been the bulwark of defense.
When you're worried about a defensive rush, and the Bengals have got to be concerned, because this Houston Oilers team gets to the quarterback. What you do is you roll your quarterback just out a little bit out, and they did that time. A controlled rollout on the part of Esiason. Max Montoya, the big guard out in front of him. That allows the offense to control the tempo of the game, and that defense finds it tougher to get a quarterback when he's in a moving pocket than when he's just sitting back there.
Holman comes out. Riggs replaces him at tight end. The 10-yard line and 1st down. Woods the yard, maybe 2. Going to be 2nd down and goal to go. Childress and William Fuller on the tackle. Sam White with the play coming in from the side, and he'll signal it very quickly.
And believe it or not, we'll get into this as the game progresses. Sam White just signaled an entire play.
Oh, yes, a long play.
A long, long play. And it's difficult to see him, but they've got it down to a real science.
Ten seconds from the 45-second clock. 2nd down, goal to go. 9-yard line. Riggs in motion. And here is Brooks cutting back, and he makes a touchdown. Brooks has his 2nd touchdown of the ball game. His 5th of the year. The opening drive of 77 yards, a fumble recovery, and interception, capitalizing on both of them, and now Breach to make it 21-0. Cincinnati 21, Houston 0, 6:21 left to go, 1st quarter. This is Charlie Jones, Jimmy Cefalo, still 6:21. That is the time remaining in the 1st quarter. Cincinnati with an opening drive of 77 yards in 9 plays, and then capitalizing on a fumble recovery and an interception in front of Houston, 21-0. Lee Johnson kicking off. And he's taken on the far side by Pinkett. He's out to the 15, to the 20, down at the 21-yard line, and the flag goes down. They may call spearing against Cincinnati.
Personal foul, number 94, 15 yards, 1st down.
That's on Rich Romer of the Cincinnati Bengals.
It appeared the hit came in just a little bit late, Charlie. Romer, number 94, he's the one that the penalty was called on. He's down, and
he
sure did. The head came in first.
And so the ball comes out to the 36-yard line.
This is like a chorus line. Watch, and a 1, and a 2. The whole offensive line is going down step, and that allows Brooks to cut behind him. What perfect synchronization on the part of the Bengal offensive line. Watch him, Montoya, Reimers, Kazerski, Walter, and Munoz. And hey, I may be old, but I could run through that line too.
Back to live action. Moon to throw. First down from the 36-yard line. He goes deep. Underthrown. Tip. Incomplete. He's going to Drew Hill. Solomon Wilcox was the first man there for Cincinnati with the coverage. So it's second down and 10 back at the 36-yard line. And if you're wondering if Warren Moon was having any problem with that shoulder injury and he unloads this one, obviously he is not.
Well, he does unload it, Jared. I don't know if he got it as far out there as he wanted to, but again, that was not man-to-man coverage. It appeared to be, but there was that center fielder. And I think Sam Watch of the Bengal defense is going to try to keep a center fielder out there all day. They don't want Moon to get that man-to-man coverage that he so desperately needs.
Moon missed 5 weeks with a fractured scapula. That's the shoulder bone on the right side. He said it is healed, but the muscles around it have not healed completely. That still bothers him some. Second down and 10. Rozier, 48-yard line. Gain of 12 and a first down. And, of course, the trap here for the Houston Oilers is to try and get it all back at once. 10-minute ticker. Raiders trailing. Giants, Atlanta, no score. Minnesota now leading Tampa Bay 7-3. New England on top of Buffalo in the first quarter. That's interesting. 7-0. Pittsburgh 14-0 over Denver. John Elway not playing in that ball game. Dallas 7, Philadelphia 0, no score. Detroit and Kansas City. And here it is Cincinnati 21, Houston 0. 5 minutes and 18 seconds now left to go in the first quarter. Houston's second opportunity. On offense, it is dropped. Ernest Givens. Moon is 0 for 4. And it is second down and 10. While Moon was hurt, Givens had problems catching the ball. Had it at the beginning of the game last week against New England, but Moon came right back to him, and he caught a few balls.
Yeah, in the previous 3 weeks before last week's contest, Givens only had 2 catches, and he's been their leading receiver for much of the time he has spent in Houston. So he really needs Warren Moon to come back to him right now.
And you expect to see that. Meanwhile, he goes to Rozier. He cuts off the left side, goes to the 44-yard line of Cincinnati. Picks up 8. It'll be third down and a couple. Tim Crumry, the Pro Bowler nose tackle. And the leading tackle for the Bengals is the man who made the stop.
A year ago, Givens and Drew Hill were the 2 most productive receivers in football as a combination. And now with Warren Moon out of the contest, they've not been as productive, and it's going to cost them in the bank because both had incentives for 1,000-yard seasons, and they are not on pace to do that because of the injury to Warren Moon.
Are your feet warm?
They are getting warmer.
We have a nice heater here that we stolen. It's underneath the counter. Third down and 2. It's a little chilly. It's damp. The temperature did not get to 50 like we thought that it would. It's about 42 degrees. Rozier is dropped by Jim Scow. Fourth down and 2, and Greg Montgomery will come in to punt. And Eddie Brown is set to return. In the first quarter, Houston with 16 offensive plays. With Cincinnati with 16, right? Houston with 9. The story of the ball game, of course, thus far, long drive, 2 turnovers. The kick, fair catch, taken at the 21-yard line by Eddie Brown. And so Cincinnati will move on offense for the 4th time in the ball game. They lead 21-0. During a timeout, the team comes to the sideline. Notice the graphic, 21, the most points that the Cincinnati Bengals have scored this season in the first quarter. As a matter of fact, they had only scored, prior to this ball game, 23 points total in the first quarter all season. So Cincinnati goes to the 21-yard line. First down, and of course, while they're in the sideline, they call that first play. And it is Brooks to the 24. And it will be second down and 7.
I'm sorry. When we asked Sam Watch yesterday why he brings the whole team over, he said, well, why not? I've got to relate to one player who's going to go in the quarterback and relay it again. No, it's like in basketball. They don't send a guard over. He told us, and he goes back and tells the team what defense to play. I'll bring the whole team over, and I'll explain it to them. When he first started it, he really confused the officials. They wanted to find out if it was legal. And the answer, of course, it is.
Second down and 7, and again, Cincinnati in the action mode. Childress with that last tackle. They are not going to the huddle. And what they want to do is they want to force the defense to keep the same personnel on the field. Rolling away from pressure and getting a block, and Esiason then goes out of bounds. And he's going to go out. Let's see where they'll mark it. They'll mark it at around the 33 or the 34-yard line. And it is a first down. Johnny Meade was the man putting the pressure, forcing Esiason to roll out and scramble for the first down at the 34-yard line. Gain of 10.
In this action mode, as they like to call it, Sam White has done a little bit of research, found out that they are twice as successful in this action mode than they are when they go into a regular huddle. They score twice as often in this formation, which is highly unusual.
But they don't use any more plays. They use about the same amount of time off of the 45-second clock or the 30-second clock. Now here he's calling an audible, and he's running out of time. 2 seconds now left. No, he's going to call a timeout.
First timeout, Cincinnati.
And I think Jim Riggs, number 87, the tight end, lined up on the wrong side of formation, so Boomer had to correct him.
Now this will be just a 40-second timeout. It's not a full timeout as far as time is. What it really means is we're not taking a commercial. A reminder to our viewers that we'll be selecting the Budweiser Most Valuable Player for today's game at the conclusion of the game.
No commercial?
Well, that's the reason it's 40 seconds. Otherwise, it's a bit longer. Yes.
There's our score, and just 2:40 left.
What it also means is that we've got all of our commercials in the first quarter. It's a little inside television.
Interestingly enough, when they go into that action mode, and Jerry Glanville has had to try to defend it.
He likes it. He likes to defend against it.
Yeah, well, I'm not. He told us that, but I'm not so sure I believe him.
Oh, yeah, I think so, because it's like a chess game. You know, what are they going to do? What can we do? How can we counterbalance?
Yeah, well, if you asked him right now if he's enjoyed defending it this afternoon, he'd probably say
he's down 21-0.
What it does is the defense has to be ready all the time when they're standing up there, because you never know when they're going to snap the ball in a quick count.
Ooh, look at the first down. If you would. And again, it is Ray Childress who leads the defense. 38-yard line, second down and 6.
Ray Childress, number 79 for the Oilers. There he is, second in from the left. I know. Watch him. He gets double team, actually, pushed down the line of scrimmage, but he fights through. That's a tremendous play on the part of Childress to get in on the tackle after being double teamed by the right side of that Bengal offense. Montoya and Walter, they're big people to fend off.
Second down and 6. Meanwhile, you have the feeling that Esiason could kind of go from player to player and whisper, this is what we're going to run. Play action. Good protection, and he goes deep. And it is incomplete. Tim McGee, the intended receiver, and he ran into some problem in the secondary. Could not pop loose. Good coverage by Keith Bostic. And his third down and 6. We'll take another look.
Let's take a look at it from the defensive end of the Houston defense. This is Jeff Donaldson, number 31. He's playing center field. That's his entire job, just sitting back there waiting for it to happen. And he really gets turned around and then bumped by the receiver.
They could almost have called offensive pass interference if they wanted to.
Tim McGee was running downfield, but it was Donaldson also that got his feet tangled up. His job is just to play center field and wait for that big rainbow pass to come down there.
Third and 6. Klassen fires. It's caught. First down, 49-yard line. A falling reception by Chris Collinsworth. That is only his 4th catch of the year. He's been bothered by an ankle and a groin injury. Patrick Allen had the coverage for Houston, a gain of 11, first down at the 49.
And the crowd reacts to him. He's a favorite here in Cincinnati, and because of the injury, he has not been able to play much, as you mentioned, Charlie, but they love to see number 80 catch the football in Cincinnati.
The score, Cincinnati 21, Houston nothing, with 1 minute 15 left to go. Double reverse, fake to the double reverse. Brooks keeps it, and he is upended. Good defensive play by Steve Brown. Let's check the 10-minute ticker. New Orleans leading the Raiders 3-0. Atlanta by the same score over the Giants. Minnesota, Tampa Bay scored again. New England, Buffalo tied at 7. Pittsburgh 17-0 over Denver. Dallas in front of Philadelphia 14-0. Kansas City leading Detroit 3-0. Second down and 7 at the Houston 48-yard line. Play action. Boomer left-hander rolls left. This one got away. It's intercepted at the 20-yard line. Jeff Donaldson. Boy, Boomer hit the only man who was open and hit him perfectly.
Well, we mentioned earlier where we watched Donaldson as we have the normal pushing and shoving on the field. Donaldson was playing that center field, waiting for any long throw, something that was overthrown. This time Esiason gave him just what he wanted. He was trying to go to Collingsworth underneath, but was a little high with the pass. Watch it, number 80 will come into your screen. Collingsworth, well overthrown.
Oh, yeah.
My goodness. And there he is, looky. Donaldson playing center field, picks it off.
And a 23-yard interception return. And Houston has the ball at their own 43-yard line. Pretty good field position. Oilers need to get something going. A touchdown, they're back in the ballgame. It is stolen. Leo Barker. Touchdown, Cincinnati. Miami bound. That's the site of Super Bowl. Oh, the Super Bowl in January. Ooh. Now to make it 28-0 in the first quarter. Jim Brady. And he does. Have you seen that before?
Now, this is a misdemeanor, Charlie, because he got pickpocketed.
Yeah.
I mean, look at that. What great reaction on the part of Leo Barker, number 53. It actually was tipped by someone else, but Barker, with a good reaction, to pick it off and get into the end zone.
34 yards on the interception return. At first, I thought he just reached up and grabbed it.
Yeah, I did too, but it was tipped just as Moon was trying to release the football.
The most points they've ever scored in the first quarter in the history of the Cincinnati Bengals. Their previous high was 27, so they have a new record by 1.
And Sam White told us yesterday his team was really ready and prepared. He said when he'd go into a meeting and try to give him that little motivational speech that coaches normally give, they were all sitting on the edge of their seats, and they had that blank stare about them. This is a real rivalry in the Central Division. Houston and Cincinnati and the Bengals, as I mentioned in the open of our show, they did not want to lose a second game because it would have taken all of the momentum of that 6-game winning streak that opened the season away from them.
3 turnovers, 3 touchdowns. And Johnson kicking off with 9 seconds to go in the first. And here's Kenny Johnson on the return, the 25, the 30-yard line. Fumble. Cincinnati has it again. Oh, they're going to rule it dead. They're going to say the ground caused the fumble. And meanwhile, 0-0s on the scoreboard. That means time has run out in the first quarter, but not 0-0s for Cincinnati. They lead 28-0. And on the left, the head man of the Cincinnati Bengals, Paul Brown. And let's go back to the kickoff return.
Yeah, Kenny Johnson, number 22. The Bengals thought they had this fumble recovered, but I think from this replay, it'll show that he actually was on the ground when the ball popped out. There you see he is down. At least it's inconclusive. The ball then pops out, and so they cannot overturn that. But he was just obscured right at the very last second, but it did appear that he was on the ground, and the ground caused the fumble.
I think it's a good call.
I do too.
So Houston at their own 30-yard line, trailing 28-0. Warren Moon, 2 interceptions. He's yet to complete a pass. Is that right? He's 0 for 5. Two-man rush over the middle, and this one is complete to Ernest Gibbons. And he is decked by Leo Barker, the touchdown scoring Leo Barker.
And turnaround is fair play. The Houston Oilers are in an attack mode of their own, not going into the huddle. It looks more like a 2-minute offense as opposed to the attack. The attack and the Bengals are all bunched together, and actually Esiason calls the play at the line of scrimmage. Here it looks like Warren Moon just audible, the normal call.
2nd and 3. The first sack of the ball game, and Reggie Williams got it, and that's his first of the year.
Reggie Williams coming from his strong linebacker spot. Mike Munchak, number 63, on Grand with a good block up front, but somebody did not get to Williams, number 57, and it's Moon with the first time that he's on the back today. This Houston club will have to try and regroup.
Today's game is brought to you by Ford and your Ford dealer. Have you driven a Ford lately? By Wendy's Old-Fashioned Hamburgers, the best burgers in the business. And by the U.S. Armed Forces. It's a great place to start.
This is Charlie Jones, Jimmy Cefalo, 7 in the secondary for the Cincinnati Bengals. 3rd down and 12 for Houston. You expect them to throw.
You think?
Pass is right now they're going to rule it incomplete, but the official that was standing there, I'm surprised the umpire, John Keck, did not rule it incomplete immediately, almost as if he thought it was a reception and a fumble.
Let's take a look at it. Now, Ernest Gibbons is having his trouble here today. You remember he dropped one early on. This is a clear drop.
Oh, yeah. I was just surprised it wasn't called soon.
Yeah, from this angle, it seemed that it was a drop right away, but you're right, Charlie. The official closest to the play did not make the call. It was the side judge who made it.
Greg Montgomery, the kicker. Eddie Brown set up for the return. Good kick. 21-yard line. And he'll return it to the 30-yard line. Chris Dishman was down to make the tackle on the special team. 53 yards on the kick. And a check of the 10-minute ticker. Saints by 3. Giants, Atlanta still tied. Minnesota leading Tampa Bay. They're all in the second quarter, as we are here. Buffalo leading New England now by 3 as the Bills have come back. Pittsburgh still in front of Denver, 17-0. And again, John Elway not playing in that ball game. Dallas on top of Philadelphia, 17-0. And Kansas City leading Detroit, 3-0. Here it is Cincinnati 28. And Houston, I think, was 14:08 left to go. First time. Chris Brooks to the 37-yard line.
Now this is a contest that the Bengals can try some things out on. I mean, the running game, they want to work on that. They certainly have enough room to do it. If I were Sam Weiss, I would not put Boomer Esiason in any jeopardy. He is by far the most valuable player on this team, maybe in the entire division. And this is a team, the Houston Oilers, that like to blitz, like to get to the quarterback. And so Sam Weish, I think, has got to make sure with this kind of a lead that Boomer Esiason is protected.
Second and 3, Brooks to the right side. First down. James Brooks, who has scored 2 touchdowns in the ballgame, has a total of 5 on the year.
Anthony Munoz may be the best offensive lineman in football today. Number 78, Watson for the Cincinnati Bengals, pulling around the corner, gets turned around a little bit, doesn't matter, stays with his man. Then his man goes down, maybe with a little bit of help of a grab, but I got to tell you, when you're a good offensive lineman, the hold is part of your arsenal.
First down, Cincinnati at their own 42-yard line. Icky Woods slides through to the 46. So he has 4. It'll be second down and 6. Doug Smith makes the tackle.
Well, let's see what happens to Munoz this time. He's blocking strong. Hey, that's a good block. It's another one going against Fuller, number 95. Even though Munoz winds up on the ground, he's using his hands extremely well. One of the reasons why he is considered the best lineman in football, he's huge, 290 pounds. And Sam Weish told us yesterday he could play shortstop for the Cincinnati Reds. That's how agile that man is.
Second and 6. Cincinnati up 28-0. Running a little time off the clock here in the first half. Icky Woods again. William Fuller with the tackle.
Charlie, the Houston Oilers can't allow this to continue. I mean, when you're down 28-0, obviously the Bengals are going to try to run the football, but they're taking too much time off the clock and they're moving downfield. I think Jerry Glanville has to start blitzing somebody into a hole, try some games with the defensive line to try and stop this running attack, because they cannot allow the Bengals to move downfield and take off 6-7 minutes of the clock.
How do you stop a running attack like that?
You do some stunts on the defensive line. You blitz a linebacker into a hole. You take some gambles with it, and I think you'll see more of that now by the Oilers.
Third and 4. Esiason the throw, drops it off to Woods. 47-yard line of Houston. See where they spotted it. May be enough for the first down. Robert Lyles with the tackle. And it is going to be just enough for a first down. And when you're hot, you're hot. If it works, it all works. And White sending in the play. Signaling it in. Still a lot of time left. 11:20 time remaining in the second quarter. Riggs in motion. He in reality the lead blocker. Brooks behind him to the 39-yard line. James Brooks brought down by Jeff Donaldson.
Hey, this is getting embarrassing now. Watch Anthony Munoz this time, number 70 at the left tackle, along with Bruce Reimers, number 75. Blow out the left side of this defensive line. And it's Munoz going downfield on a linebacker. Number 54, Al Smith, trying to fend him off. But anytime you can allow Munoz to get downfield after a linebacker, 7 and 8 yards downfield, there's something wrong with your defensive strategy. I mean, why in the world should Munoz get 7, 8 yards downfield before he has to touch someone?
Brooks is averaging 6 yards a carry. He has 42 yards on 7 carries. Inside handoff. Icky Woods, the ball is loose, and Houston has it. So Icky Woods fumbles, and Houston comes up with it. And it is Wade Childress who recovers the fumble. And that's one way to stop a draw.
Yeah, it sure is. And this is the second time Icky Woods has fumbled today. They were lucky. The Bengals got the first one back, but not this time around. Look at the movement on the defensive nose tackle. They're blowing them out in that sense, but it's Smith, again, number 54, that gets his helmet in. And Icky Woods, the second fumble of the day.
Cincinnati out in front, 28-0. Childress just recovering the fumble for the Oilers. And Houston has a first down just outside their own 32-yard line. Cincinnati with now a 4-man rush and 6 in the secondary. Now, you should be able to run against that defense.
That's exactly what Houston has got to do. If the Bengals are going to go with that 6 defensive back formation, Houston's got to be able to run the football. Now, Williams, number 57, he's a linebacker, but he's playing down in that 4-man front, coming from the backside to make the tackle. But Houston has got to be able to get more out of that formation. When they see 6 defensive backs in there, what it comes down to is a large lineman blocking against the defensive back. And in that sense, they have got to go ahead and get more yards. And that is the story of the game. 3 turnovers by Houston.
Highsmith is back to block with Warren Moon in the shotgun, 2nd down and 7. Incomplete. Ricky Dixon had the defensive coverage on Willie Drury.
And this is a very good coverage by the rookie. He's out there on an island all by himself, man-to-man. And Drury's been around for a couple of years, and Dixon has not. Nice coverage, playing the bump and run.
Updating the other scores, New Orleans still by 3, Giants Atlanta tied. Minnesota leading Tampa Bay 21-10. New England back in front of Buffalo. They've got one going there, 13-10. Pittsburgh now 24-0 over Denver in Pittsburgh. Dallas 17-0 over Philadelphia. Kansas City leads Detroit 3-0. Here it is Cincinnati 28 and Houston nothing. And the ball carrier is Mike Rozier.
And a little bit of a trick play, Charlie. That shotgun snap went right to Rozier instead of a handoff from Moon. They just snapped the ball directly to the halfback in the formation. But Cincinnati, they can afford to sit back. Those trick plays are not going to work right now.
Needed 7, got 5 at 4th down.
There it is. You see it right to the halfback. But when you're the Bengals in this kind of a lead, you're not going to be overly aggressive. And so those trick plays do not work.
Montgomery to punt. Eddie Brown the return man. And he'll let it go out of bounds. So Cincinnati will take over the football with 8 minutes and 46 seconds left to go in the first half. Leading 28-0. The opening drive, Cincinnati won the toss, went 77 yards in 9 plays. Ickey Wood scoring from a yard out. And then a Riggs fumble. And James Brooks went in from 7 yards out, a 19-yard drive. A Thomas interception. Brooks scored again, this time from 9 yards out, a 36-yard drive. And then Leo Barker, the linebacker, with an interception that was just really right off of the hand of Warren Moon. And it's 28-0. He went in from 34 yards out. This game, the property of the National Football League, the Houston Oilers and the Cincinnati Bengals, all rights reserved. Cincinnati at their own 22-yard line, first down. Stanley Wilson, now the ball carrier.
And I mentioned earlier that I thought Houston was going to have to mix it up a little bit defensively in order to take away this running attack. John Grimsley, the inside linebacker, number 59, made the play that time. There he is up front. He's still 4 or 5 yards off the ball, but he beats the block of Montoya, number 65, and gets in on the running play by Stanley Wilson.
For the Bengals, this is their 6th offensive possession. They scored on their first 3. And then it was an interception and a fumble, and probably moving by the offensive line. And a game that's been relatively free of official flags. It wasn't. It's the loss of the yard. It's 3rd down. Pass is complete, first down. There's a scramble and a follow-up chasing the football. And now they're going to say, one official says, what is it, incomplete?
And John Grimsley is known for his speed and for his good hitting ability. That play very accurately thrown on the part of Esiason, by the way. But the receiver not able to hang on to it. And this is exactly why. Take a look at the pop. He did obviously drop the football, but Grimsley made the receiver Tim McGee paid for it. He's going to remember that hit for a long period of time.
So it is incomplete, and that means it's Scott Quillhay who will be kicking to Kenny Johnson. Quillhay with a 36.6-yard average. Good catch. 34-yard line. 4 yards on the return. 7:31 time remaining in the first half. And we've got a timeout, and Cincinnati has the lead 28-0. Jerry Glanville and Jerry Bergman, the head linesman, have had a very animated conversation during that timeout. 45 yards on the punt, a 4-yard return. Houston has the ball at their own 38-yard line. They've been unable to generate any kind of an offense today. Rozier, the ball carrier, to the 41. A gain of 3. It's going to be 2nd down and 7. For an update, let's go to Gail Gardner.
All right, Charlie, speaking of routes, the 1-6 Pittsburgh Steelers beating up on the Denver Broncos. Todd Blackledge at quarterback as he goes 10 yards over the middle to Rodney Carter. Carter also had a 64-yard touchdown run. 24-0 Steelers. Let's go back to Cincinnati.
24-0 there, 28-0 here. I don't think you'd have figured either of those scores coming into the ballgame.
No, 2 really surprising scores, especially that one. I've got to tell you,
yes.
This is the Bengals are a really good football team, but I'm surprised by that one.
Rozier, I think Houston's a really good football team. I'm just surprised he made the early mistakes and the Bengals immediately capitalized on it.
Well, that is a good point. That run there by Rozier, Charlie, is more of what the Bengals have got to stop and what the Oilers have got to do. When they put that 6th defensive back in the football game, the Oilers have got to get more yardage. That's the first time they've capitalized on it.
David Fulcher with the last tackle, the ball at the 50-yard line. First down for Houston. Been a long time between first downs. Incomplete at the 40-yard line. Givens the intended receiver. Moon's pass was low. Charles Zander had the coverage. 2nd down and 10. Fulcher was also there.
Moon, you mentioned earlier, Charlie, when you spoke to him yesterday, he had problems with the muscles surrounding the bone that was healed in his back. Let's see if we can't pick anything up off of his motion, because he has not been successful today. Seems a little bit tight. Well, his motion is fine, but he's moving his feet as he goes along. One of the old stories about Warren Moon is that he got a little nervous in his pocket and moved his feet as he was trying to throw the football, and that took away from his accuracy. He's gotten away from that in the past, but maybe the lack of experience this season has made him get back to that.
Rozier on the draw. It will not pick up the first down. It'll go to the 45-yard line. It'll be 3rd down and 5. Wilcox and Fulcher with the tackle. That is the time remaining in the 2nd quarter. Cincinnati 28 and Houston nothing. And Warren Moon has completed only 1 of 8 passes, that good for 7 yards. And on 3rd down conversions, they were 0 for 4. So the defense of Cincinnati has really shut them down. On one side, on the other side, they got behind so quickly because of the turnovers that they became very predictable. They had to throw the ball.
That's true. And Warren Moon has had a couple of receivers drop the football. Ernest Givens has had 2 drops.
3rd down and 5, 6 in the secondary. Moon has pressure over the middle, and this one is caught at the 36-yard line by Givens. He holds on, has the first down. Reggie Williams is putting the pressure on. Eric Thomas had the coverage. Gain of 9 and the first down.
Givens went in motion to the left side of your screen. Then he tried to get caught up in all of the nonsense inside and cut across, back across the grain. Did so, and nice play on that part. But take a look at what happens to Warren Moon after he gets rid of the football. That's Jason Buck, 99, going to him. And that's also Reggie Williams, number 57. Helps put him down.
And he hit down on that right shoulder. Doesn't seem to bother him, so that is good news from that standpoint. Time remaining first half. Alonzo Highsmith, as Reggie Williams was the first man to him, and Wilcox the second.
And it's important for the Oilers to get on the board before the end of the half. Going in halftime with a big goose egg up on the board, there's nothing more demoralizing than that.
We mark it at the 30-yard line. So it is 2nd down and 4.
Well, Jerry Glanville looks surprisingly calm, doesn't he, on the sideline? I mean, he's down by 28 points. He's joking with the sideline official, and
Because he will receive the kickoff of the second half. He can get a score here and a long drive at the beginning of the second half. He is within 2 touchdowns and back in the ballgame. Rozier. It'll be 3rd down and still a couple to go for the first down. Skip McClendon with the stop along with Tim Crumline.
That 3rd and 2, the Oilers obviously in 4-down territory. They're not going to get the field goal, and they're not going to punt from this situation. So they really have got 2 shots to gain the 2 yards for a first down.
And the 3rd down conversion came outside at the 45-yard line just a minute ago. And they pick up the first down there. 3rd down and 2. Play action. Moon throws. The pass is complete. It will be a first down at the 19-yard line. And it was Jamie Williams, the tight end, brought down by Solomon Wilcox. And we'll look at the scores of other games. Raiders now lead New Orleans. Atlanta 7 in front of the Giants. Minnesota remains in front of Tampa Bay. New England by 3 over Buffalo. Pittsburgh 24-0 over Denver. Dallas, big over Philadelphia, 20-0. And Detroit leading Kansas City 7-3. We mark it at the 18-yard line, so a gain of 10 and a first down. 2:10 time remaining and counting. First half. Rozier just inside the 15-yard line, and Tim Crumry makes the tackle. The 2-minute warning will be given to both benches. The score is Cincinnati 28 and Houston nothing. We're being serenaded by Bird's Band here in Cincinnati.
No relation to Larry.
No, they'd had nicer uniforms.
Yeah, with a $4.2 million per year contract, I guess they would have nicer uniforms.
This is the 10th play of the drive for Houston. They started back at their own 38-yard line, now at the Cincinnati 15. And it is 2nd down and 7. Highsmith. Mark it for 4. It'll be 3rd down. A little over 3 to go for the first down. Carl Zander with the tackle.
And Alonzo Highsmith, he's not been touching the football a great deal, at least this year. He's been used primarily as a blocker. And he's got a great deal of ability as a running back, but he's been used primarily as a blocker for Rozier.
And Houston takes a timeout here, stopping the clock with 1:43. Can the Oilers get back in this ball game?
Well,
I know when I said if they could score here, opening drive of second half and score there, 28-14. They're back. You had this credulous look.
Yeah, I really did, because
I know you did. Yeah.
I think that not only being up by 28 points, but it changes the entire philosophy. The Bengals in that zone defense, they can put 6 defensive backs and sit back there, and the Oilers have got to get some extraordinary turnovers in order to get back into the football game.
And at halftime, Bob, Ahmad, Gale, Paul, and Frank. That's the basketball team.
It sure is.
Yeah. And they will be updating all of the highlights, scores, and look forward to the games in the second half of the doubleheader on NBC. Boomer Esiason and the Cincinnati Bengals in front of Houston, 28-0. Now the crowd back into it at the end of the first half as Rozier goes to the 8-yard line.
Perhaps the most important person in a 3-man line is the nose tackle, Charlie, and the Bengals have maybe the best in the AFC. Watching number 69, Tim Crumry, fending off the center, that's Pennison, and going down the line, getting part of the tackle. Usually a nose tackle, his only job is not to get beaten up too badly, because if he can maintain the line of scrimmage and just stalemate things, then he's won his job. But Tim Crumry is different. He not only fends off the tackle, he gets involved in a lot of them. He led the Bengals in total tackles a number of times, as you just saw, and that's so unusual for a nose tackle to do that.
4th down and 1 with the clock moving, and either a miscommunication, some kind of a hesitation. Warren Moon then took a timeout, but 20, maybe 30 seconds came off of the clock.
A big mistake by Warren Moon and the Bengals, especially in a 4th down situation. If they make the 1st down now, they've got to get back to the line of scrimmage very quickly and get set. And they've got it. Usually, when you're down here, if you had no timeouts remaining, and it was a 1st down play, he'd go into the end zone. It's either touchdown or incomplete. You don't worry about the timeout. Obviously, they're not going to go for the field goal. But because it's 4th down, this presents a great problem for them.
I mentioned the doubleheader games that they'll take a look at in second half. The Jets at Miami, Seattle at the Rams, Cleveland, Phoenix, Indianapolis at San Diego. So stay with us here on NBC, and you'll be watching, most of you at least, will be watching one of those games. This season, the Oilers' 4th down conversion record is 50%, 4 of 8. And Rozier has the 1st down as he goes to the 5-yard line. There will be 1st down and goal to go.
And that is their
40-second timeout.
Their final timeout of the half.
And the next play will be the 14th play of the drive. 49 seconds is the time remaining. You're at the 5-yard line, no timeouts. Now, does that mean that you throw? Does that mean you have to throw all 4 times?
No, not necessarily. You can run the football once if you really wanted to, but if I were the offensive coordinator, I would throw the ball 4 times into the end zone. You're either touchdown or you're incomplete, so the timeouts do not come into effect. You don't have to save the one to get the field goal team on the field, which is the usual procedure, because you're not going to kick the field goal.
If you are going to run, and you do want to run on 1st down.
I'm sorry, say that again?
If you do want to do it, were you taking a nap? Did you lose me?
I was listening to our producer, Kenny.
Could I introduce myself to you? I can't remember what. Oh, if you're going to run, would you run on 1st down?
Yes, I would run on 1st down because you've got the whole 49 seconds left. If you're on 2nd and 3rd, there's less time on the clock.
I wanted to make you look good. You took a nap on me. What can I tell? And it's 1st down, and here is Rozier, and he scores. So Mike Rozier has scored his 5th touchdown of the year. And Houston is finally on the board in a 62-yard drive.
And that was so very important for this team. If Houston had gone down here at the end of the half, down 28-0, and did not come away with the touchdown, this game would have been over. And the morale would have been so low going in at halftime that I don't know if Rozier and Jerry Glanville could have boosted this club. But now with a touchdown, as you mentioned, Charlie, it opens the door, but just a crack.
Extra point by Tony Zendejas is good. And the score is now Cincinnati 28 and Houston 7. We have 43 seconds left to go in the 1st half. Do we see an onside kick?
I don't think so. I think I kick it off. Because what you do is you open the door for the possibility of the Bengals going in for a field goal or something, and you like this momentum. You want to keep it. Here's the touchdown. We said running on 1st down with about 50 seconds left. It seemed to have caught the Bengals a surprise. Williams, excuse me, that wasn't Williams. That was number 53, Leo Barker, was off the ball 5 yards or so, and looked like he was looking for the pass play.
The drive took 6 minutes and 48 seconds, and the score is 28-7. I know I'm kind of milling around the idea of an onside kick.
Well, I thought about it for a second as well, but if I were Jerry Glanville, I'm thinking we finally got a drive going in this football game. We got 7 points on the board. Momentum, while not totally in our favor, is at least smiling upon us as we head toward halftime. If you try this onside kick and they go down and kick a field goal, get any points out of it, again, this ball game is over.
Yeah, but you're down by 21.
Right.
Now, Cincinnati agrees with you as we look at the drive. The good hands team is not there. They have 5 men up front, including Chris Collinsworth, who is only the hands player in case there is an onside attempt. Zendejas will kick on. And Hillary from the 9-yard line on the return, and he is 10 yards to the 19. Richard Johnson makes the tackle. And we now have 39 seconds left in the first half, and I would therefore assume that Esiason would just down the ball.
Yeah, I would just take it to a knee. I mean, they've got to be absolutely thrilled, and their wildest is the kind of thing you dream about. You know, during the week, you think about the game so hard that you dream about it often. Well, you dream about going in at halftime up 21 points. So don't get greedy. Just sit down on the football.
Brooks will fake inside, has the hole. He's out to the 30, to the 33-yard line. And now, of course, with the 45-second clock, it has already started its count. No, Cincinnati's taking a timeout.
They sure are.
Maybe there's more to this rivalry than we realize.
Well, you know, this is.
I mean, this is almost you know, in your face.
Well, I don't think so. I think I don't agree with the philosophy behind it, but this is not running up the score. You can't run up the score at the end of a half.
Well, if you can, if you score a touchdown.
No, because they need to score more points. It is not inconceivable that Houston would not score 28 points in this football game. However, the thought is the Bengals have got to score more points, but not at the end of the half. My thought is it's a difference in philosophy than Sam Weich's. I think you're happy going in with 21 at the end of the half, and you just go in and run out the clock. But apparently he wants to get more points right now.
Brooks picking up 14 yards at Bruce Cossett, you saw, one of the assistant coaches. 33-yard line. Seconds. In the throw, pass is complete at the 45-yard line to Eddie Brown. And Cincinnati will take another timeout. Gain of 12 and a first down.
Cincinnati, 40-second timeout.
Well, the other point, Charlie, that we mentioned, Boomer Esiason is so vitally important to this team. You want to keep him healthy. I mean, you're up by 21 points. And take a look at who's in the backfield for the Bengals. They've got two tight ends. I've never seen that before. Rodney Holman, number 82, is a tight end. He's playing running back, and still they get to Esiason, and that makes me nervous if I'm a Bengal fan.
And Jim Riggs, the other tight end, is back there, and they are the protection for the quarterback.
Right, so that, you know, when mentioned earlier, they've got to protect Esiason. Sam Weich obviously agrees with two tight ends in the backfield.
Interesting, though, the comments everybody's talking about the last 2 or 3 weeks. What do you do to stop all the injuries to the quarterback? Possibly you put two tight ends back there to block for him and not those little bitty scatterbacks.
Hey, Sam Weich got a good idea with it. Holman can run out of the backfield, catch some underneath patterns, and that's what a running back does when he's back there. But he's got the big strength to sit back and block somebody. Look at that. two tight ends.
Yeah, one at 240 and the other at 245. There's some good blockers back there now. Esiason, he's headed for the sidelines, gets a block and gets out of bounds, stops the clock, 12 seconds. The time remaining in the first half.
This goes back to that philosophy. They have no timeouts remaining, and so it's impossible for them in 12 seconds to run a play and then get a field goal team on to kick a field goal. They've got to try to go to the end zone, or this half is going to be over.
First down at the Houston 42-yard line with 12 seconds left to the first half.
I think if I were a Bengal fan, I'd hold my breath. 20 seconds left in the half, up by 21, and Boomer's scrambling around out there. Sit down, Jim Breach. You're not going to kick this one.
You don't think so?
No, don't think so.
Of course, you didn't think that they would run all these plays either. Say that. Jackson rolling. Sets. Incomplete. Tim McGee could not hang on to it. 6 seconds now left in the half, and it's second down and 10 at the 42.
Chris Collinsworth, one of the things he does very well is come back to the football, find an open area, releases very well. It's tough to get your hands on the young man.
Oh, he's open. Well, that's deceptive, though, because if you notice the other players, that meant the ball was in the air when the Houston secondary was going. So.
And that was Jeff Donaldson, number 31, who was moving his way over anyway.
Esiason 8 of 12, 120 yards in the first half. 6 seconds. Hail Mary, left side. The 3 wide receivers over there. Esiason comes back to this side as a block. Close to the line of scrimmage, goes to the end zone, and it is intercepted in the end zone. And with that play, as Donaldson makes the interception, we have a marker down.
I think Boomer was beyond the line of scrimmage when he let that one go.
I think he was. That's what it is. He was past the line of scrimmage. It was intercepted. It is refused. Of course, Donaldson will have the interception in the statistics. So, halftime, Cincinnati 28, Houston 7. Surprise?
Yeah, a little bit. Quite a bit. As a matter of fact, I thought we'd have a close, toughly fought football game today, but Cincinnati, with those turnovers early in the contest, blowing it wide open.
Again, halftime, Cincinnati 28, Houston 7. NFL Live halftime activities.
Is the turnovers. Houston is putting the ball on the ground, and Cincinnati is scoring off it. Every time that Cincinnati has made the mistake, Houston has not been able to capitalize. That's the story of this game.
And this kickoff is sponsored by Budweiser, the king of beers. Lee Johnson kicking off. And Curtis Duncan will let it go through the end zone and will bring it out to the 20-yard line. So Houston from their own 20-yard line, first down. You come back to a very methodical type of drive. Their touchdown drive took some 6 minutes plus in time.
Well, I think it's going to be important to find out whether Cincinnati goes to the 6 defensive backs. Remember earlier you said, gee, there's 6 defensive backs in the game, and I said, well, Houston's got to be able to run the football. They did so, and they did it successfully. Now, as they come out of the huddle, I think this is the normal defensive set, so Houston has got to go back to their regular game plan.
And they come out running with Rozier. Good for a yard, and that's going to be it. Crumry, McClendon, and Scow there to stop him.
One of the keys to this game for Cincinnati was that defensive front of theirs with McClendon and Scow and Tim Crumry had to stop the power running attack of Houston. Crumry is the really only power guy the Bengals have in that front line. Scow and McClendon have more quickness than they do upfield strength, but they've done that. Crumry has got to take a lot of credit for it, and that has prevented Houston from getting any offense started at all.
Alonzo Highsmith and Mike Rozier are the 2 running backs. Moon to throw. And he goes deep. And it is incomplete. Just off of the fingertip of Drew Hill. So it'll be 3rd down and 9.
And I'm a little bit surprised. Warren Moon had man-to-man coverage there with Drew Hill, the fastest guy he's got, against Derek Thomas, number 22. If Warren Moon has right off his fingertips, you know, this is a different football game at 28-14, isn't it?
Yeah.
And they were about 4 inches away from that. So I'm surprised that the Bengals are not sitting back there in some kind of a zone or a combination zone man-to-man. You do not want to give Drew Hill the chance to go man-to-man.
Houston has converted only 2 of 7 third down opportunities, and the 2 that they converted came in their long touchdown drive.
And Houston's got another man-to-man situation.
And it's a screen that's dropped. Rozier drops the ball. It'll be 4th down. Not a very auspicious start to the second half.
No, not really. Warren Moon, the worst play you can run on man-to-man coverage is a screen, because you've got a linebacker staring at the running back who's trying to get lost in the crowd with the offensive line. That's one of the reasons that didn't work. The other one is that the running back's got to catch the football.
Montgomery, Ira Hillary from the 27-yard line. He's to the 30. And a return to the 37-yard line. So 10 yards on the return. And John Grimsley was down to make the stop. $52 yards on the punt, an 8-yard return.
This is the sugar huddle, Charlie. Notice they're only 4 yards off the line of scrimmage. They've talked about what play they want to run, but Boomer wants to say a couple of the words of instruction to them. So they stand just 4 yards behind. They go right to the line of scrimmage and snap the football. Another innovation by Sam White.
And it's called sugar huddle because?
It's short and sweet.
Sweet and low? Oh, I chip it to it. Stanley Wilson opens as the running back and has no gain. It'll be 2nd down and 10. Johnny Meads makes the tackle. When do you start making substitutions in this ballgame?
Well, I don't think for quite a while. I think you come out to the beginning of the third quarter and play it as if you're even up. Go back to your regular offensive set and run the ball when you want to, when you normally would have. Throw the football when you want to. As you see Sam Watch working on the officials.
Helping the officials, yeah.
And I don't think you change it right at this point. I think if you begin the fourth quarter and you're up by 21 points, then you can make a couple of substitutions, but not yet.
Hillary was the motion man, and the ball carrier is Wilson. Now, Cincinnati has made some substitutions offensively. Now, Wilson is there for Ickey Woods. William Fuller makes his tackle. Hillary is there replacing McGee as a wide receiver.
Well, you remember, though, that Ickey Woods fumbled the ball a couple of times. Maybe that's the reason to put Stanley Wilson in. And Tim McGee made a mistake right at the end of the half by dropping a football, although you would think that Chris Collingsworth would be the normal substitution instead of Hillary.
They're down and 8, and again, Cincinnati in their action mode, not going through the regular full huddle set, nor have they done that any time in the ballgame. They've stayed in this mode with the addition of the sugar huddle throughout the day. Firing low, and it is caught, and that is Ira Hillary, and could well pick up the first down. It's near the mark. And is going to be the first down at the 48-yard line. So today, Cincinnati can do no wrong. Robert Lyles with the stop.
I like this offensive philosophy.
I do too.
It's more defensive than it is offensive. It's attack. It's let's go get them kind of a thing. Even the terminology, sugar huddle. It's sweet.
I can't believe you said that. Here's Brooks. Just back to the line of scrimmage.
I couldn't either, but it came out, didn't it?
Steve Brown with the tackle. Second down and 10. Weiss just makes a couple of signs, and he sends in a play. And we have one of his plays. He told us yesterday what the play was, that he would give just a couple of quick signals. And then today he said, no, that play is in today's game plan. So he wrote one out. It's not in the game plan. I'll give it to you after this. He just 2 signals, boom. And it conveys a lot of information.
You see he was scratching his cheek that time, and he put a hand over his eye. You don't know if that's his normal movements or that's the way he sends in the signals, however.
McGee diving for it. And it is incomplete. And it's going to be third down and 10. Now and he sends in a quick signal. The play could be as complicated as this. Detroit, right flip, Z right, 21, Candyman Camel on 2.
And that's just from maybe scratching his cheek and rubbing his nose or something like that. He said once in a while he'll have an itchy nose, and if he does it, somebody says, oh, you coach, you scratch. He said, well, we're going deep again.
I like that Candyman Camel. It sounds like a song. Third down and 10. Let's have a sense of humor if you're an official in the National Football League. Hillary goes in motion. Boomer's in trouble. The pass is complete. Boomer is down. The pass is complete to Stanley Wilson. And Wilson gets only to the 50-yard line. And it will be fourth down and 8. William Fuller makes the play.
Now, Boomer does go down. That shoulder's number 79, but that's not the one who gets to him. It is Smith, number 99 on the other side, Doug Smith. And Boomer seemed to complain a little bit to the officials, saying, wait a minute, I got rid of the football. The rule is 1 step. The lineman has to be within 1 step and then stop the progress whenever he can. It seems, to be perfectly honest, that Doug Smith was well within the rules there.
They ruled it grasp and control. So there's a sack, and the line of scrimmage then becomes the 38-yard line. And Fulhaig will be kicking to Kenny Johnson. Oh, good kick. Taken at the 19-yard line and out of bounds at the 20. Good coverage by Cincinnati as Ray Horton was down for the Bengals. Cincinnati leads 28-7.
Today's game is brought to you by Mazda and the exciting new Mazda cars and trucks for 1989. By Coors Light, there's no slowing down with the Silver Bullet. It's the right beer now. And by Apple Computer, maker of Macintosh personal computers, giving you the power to be your best.
This is Charlie Jones and Jimmy Cefalo. Riverfront Stadium, Cincinnati. Bengals on top of Houston, 28-7, with 10 minutes and 21 seconds left to go in the third quarter. 43 yards on that last catch with a 1-yard return. Let's see if Houston can get something going in the second half. And they open up with Mike Rozier. And so Rozier goes to the 24-yard line, a gain of 3. It will be 2nd down and 7 as we move on the 10-minute mark of time remaining in the third quarter. David Fulcher making the last tackle.
That's the thing that impresses me about Sam Weiss. Well, many things impress me about him, but he is always the teacher. If he's a professor in a classroom, teaching Esiason as he was as a rookie coming up through the line. And he's very impressive personally and as a football coach as well.
Rozier taking a direct snap. He was back in the shotgun. He fumbles it. He falls on it. And the line of scrimmage becomes the 20-yard line, so a loss of 4 on the play. And it will be 3rd down and 11. 3rd and 11 for Houston in the third quarter. Jim Crumry was there to cover Rozier immediately. 3rd down conversions, Houston only 2 of 8. And this is 3rd and 11. Moon goes deep. And it is intercepted. Eric Thomas. Gibbons the intended receiver. And Thomas has his 2nd interception of the ball game.
This ball was thrown just a little bit late by Warren Moon, Charlie. It was that combination coverage we keep talking about all afternoon long. Underneath, he had coverage, and deep, he had a safety to help him out, but Warren Moon throwing yet another interception on the afternoon.
Don't fool with the Bengals.
Here's that play. Notice the middle of the field. That's Fulcher, number 33, sitting back in the middle. He's got deep coverage. Now, the receiver's open for just a second. That's what I said when Moon was just a little bit late throwing it, and he underthrew it, allowing Eric Thomas to come up with the interception.
Play action fake on 1st down. And it is caught by McGee, and he is out of bounds. Tim McGee with the reception. The line of scrimmage, the Houston 47-yard line. Now, the Bengal offense, until that play, had been sputtering after 3 touchdowns on their first 3 offensive possessions. They have not scored in their last 5. But they have something going here at the 22-yard line.
Tim McGee got a chance to play because of an injury to Chris Collinsworth early on in the season. Started the first few games and did exceptionally well. Now that Chris Collinsworth is back and healthy, he's unable to move Tim McGee out of the lineup.
A gain of 25. Lyles makes the defensive play. And here's Stanley Wilson. Wilson has 4 yards to the 18. 2nd down and 7. 8 minutes and 25 seconds. That is the time remaining in the third quarter. Doug Smith makes the tackle. He, by the way, gets credited with that sack on the grasp and control of Boomer Esiason at the end of their last possession right before the punt. 2nd and 6. Right side, here's Brooks. Tips the tackle, touchdown. For James Brooks, his 3rd touchdown of the afternoon. He got away from Steve Brown. 47 yards in the drive, 3 plays.
Look at the right side of the offensive line. That's a pull by Max Montoya, number 65. A good block by the fullback. There's Montoya taking care of the quarterback. And when you get rid of the force by the cornerback, it's all Brooks from then on. He slips a tackle. I believe that's Donaldson, number 31, going by. And touchdown number 3 on the afternoon for the little man, James Brooks.
tip the point after. It is good. It is Cincinnati 35, Houston 7. And the last 4 turnovers have been converted by the Bengals into touchdowns. This is Charlie Jones and Jimmy Cefalo. The 3 return men from the Houston Oilers have been changing position. Lee Johnson will be kicking off for the Cincinnati Bengals. This kickoff is sponsored by Budweiser, the king of beer. And this will be down in the end zone. With the touchback, we'll bring it out to the 20-yard line.
That touchdown by Brooks was really could be attributed to the offensive lineman. Give him a point apiece for this. Montoya, number 65, with the pull, just takes care of the poor defensive back. That's Bostic trying to keep him inside. And then it's actually Steve Brown, number 24, who comes across trying to make a final tackle on Brooks, but Brooks does the rest of it by himself. Give 1 point for each 5 linemen and another one to Brooks on that 6-pointer.
3 touchdowns receiving coming into the ballgame. No touchdowns rushing for Brooks. He has 3 rushing here. And against the 3rd best NFL team against the rush. First down Houston at their own 20-yard line, trailing 35-7 against the 3-man rush. He drops it off to the right side. And this is Alonzo Highsmith who goes out of bounds with David Fulcher there for the Cincinnati Bengals and Leon White. Check of the scores. New Orleans and the Raiders. Good ball game. 10-6 in the 3rd. Atlanta now in front of the Giants by 10. Minnesota leads Tampa Bay 28-10. New England Buffalo, good one, 13-13. Pittsburgh continues to dominate Denver in the 3rd, 27-7. Dallas leads Philadelphia by 10. Detroit won over Kansas City. Here it is Cincinnati 35, Houston 7, 2nd down. And this pass is complete to Drew Hill, and he goes out of bounds. With Lewis Phillips in pursuit, it'll be a first down for the Oilers.
When you're a receiver in these kind of situations, in one sense, you obviously hate to be down by 28 points, but when you're a receiver like Drew Hill, you know you're going to see real deep zones. You're going to get a lot of room. And your quarterback is going to throw the football to you. You're going to get a lot of yardage.
Think they know the camera's on? A gain of 20 on the last play to the Houston 40-yard line. First down. Hill again, this time the 50-yard line. Just past the 50. It should be a first down. Ray Horton with the tackle. Drew Hill with the reception.
I'm sorry, Charlie. The Oilers are in something they call the red gun formation. It's a version of the run and shoot that Mouse Davis was so fond of when he was with was it the Houston Gamblers back then?
Yeah.
I guess it was. But this is the formation of it. They're coming right to the line of scrimmage, taking a page out of the book of the Bengals as well.
5-man rush by Cincinnati. Green scrambles, a little pump fake, and he goes to the 43-yard line. So he'll pick up 6 or 7, depending on where they mark it. Skip McClendon is the man who brought him down.
Now, I at least like this by Houston. Normally a team outside of the Bengals who do this all the time. Normally a team when they're down by a lot of points, they'll go back into the huddle and they'll call a play and wait until the last 2 minutes to go to their 2-minute drill. Why? You're down by 28 points. Every play is vital to you.
2nd down and 4. They spotted at the 44. 5-man rush. Knocked away. Good defensive play by Lewis Phillips. Drew Hill, the intended receiver. It'll be 3rd down and 4. Cincinnati has looked good.
They really have in every aspect. Defensively, Billups and Eric Thomas on the corners can look exceptionally well, doing a good job against Ernest Givens and Drew Hill. And Ernest Givens, after dropping those 2 balls early, has not been heard of very often in this Houston offense.
Is this a Super Bowl team we're looking at?
It could be. I've not seen anything that would say otherwise. I don't know if there's a stronger team in the AFC right now.
3rd down and 4. Three wide receivers on the right side. The draw, Alonzo Highsmith. Wilcox with the tackle. And he may have the first down. Yes, he does. Let's go to Gail Gardner.
All right, Charlie, you want to see Saints rookie running back Craig Ironhead Hayward live up to his nickname? First play from scrimmage, 2nd half. bounces off the line, then bowls over Ron Fellows, 73 yards. His first NFL touchdown. Saints lead the Raiders 10-6. Back to Charlie and Jimmy in Cincinnati.
Thank you, Gail. That's a great nickname. Did you have a nickname when you were playing?
Nope.
That beats you, too. You did, and you do not want to disclose it. They bring the chains out for the measurement. It is a first down, though, but just about 3/4 of the length of the football. Did you have one in high school? I've got it. We will chase this down, not necessarily today. Cincinnati, 39-yard line, first down, Houston. Moon with pressure, throws, and it is incomplete. He was going to Curtis Duncan. And it'll be second down and 10.
You know what I like about Warren Moon on that play, though? He stayed in the pocket. As I mentioned earlier, the old book on him was that he was too quick to run and scramble out of the pocket. But with the experience, and maybe with an injury or two, he's learned to stay in the pocket and look at his receivers downfield. Showed a lot of coolness standing back there.
I think part of it, though, isn't, playing with he has a good offensive line, a very good offensive line, and they've played together. But Moon not having a good day, 6 of 18, only 57 yards. He has been intercepted twice. He rolls, sets, fires. This is a good play to Drew Hill. 27-yard line. Picked him up. Phillips and Wilcott with the tackle. 12 yards, first down.
And the Bengals should not be overly concerned with this. They're obviously not. They're playing a very, very deep zone.
Slow. Cefalo. Oh, that's right. Well, that's a good one.
Thanks, guys.
I was Chuck and Charlie, of course, as you obviously know. One of the great arms in the history.
There are other possibilities. But the Bengals, as I always say, before I was so rudely interrupted.
I've got a note here, but go ahead.
Are playing very deep zones, and that's why the Oilers are so successful underneath.
With pressure, pass is complete, far side. And for Drew Hill, because I couldn't get this note in, that reception is now his 201st career reception as an Oiler. Eric Thomas is the man who upended him. The one before, obviously, was his 200th. Jim Scow was putting the pressure on Warren Moon. Play goes to the 10-yard line. We may have to hurry with the replay.
Take a look how deep this zone is. Watch how wide open as Warren Moon takes a hit but stays on his feet. He's got 10 yards, as Hill, and the Bengals are completely happy with that to happen. They just don't want the easy touchdowns to come about.
And we're back live at the 10-yard line, first down. The crowd gets back in it. Moon looks to the end zone, has pressure. It is caught, touchdown, Houston. Willie Drury with his first touchdown reception of the season.
And it was an excellent pass pattern by Willie Drury. He sold the post pattern and then came back to the flag. And Warren Moon had every bit of confidence that he'd be there because he danced around and spent some time on it. Now watch him. Drury is going to the post. He's faking to the post. Warren Moon buys him. There he goes. See, he fell down, but had a good enough move. He could get back up, go back to the corner, and still make the touchdown reception. Working against number 29, Ricky Dixon, the rookie.
And Houston put together an 80-yard drive in 10 plays. And the extra point is good. The score is Cincinnati 35, the Houston Oilers 14. 4:24 left to go. We're in the third quarter, and we'll be back to the kickoff. 4:24 time remaining, third quarter. Now do you onside still?
Yeah, I think about it now. I don't think it's a bad call at all. Down by 28 points. Why not? Or by 21 points, rather.
Cincinnati does not have their hands team in. They look for the regular kick, and they get it. It is still early. Hillary takes it at the 9-yard line. To the 20, 25, to the 26-yard line. 17 yards on the return, and Cincinnati will move on offense. On that last touchdown drive by Houston, Warren Moon completed 6 of 8 for 70 yards of the 80 yards in the drive. Let's run through the ticker.
All right, the ticker, New Orleans on top of the Raiders. Atlanta leading the Giants. There's a shocker in the fourth quarter. And Minnesota comfortably on top of Tampa Bay.
In an ineligible position.
Buffalo and New England all knotted up, and Pittsburgh still surprising over Denver 30-7. And that was a team that was beaten badly by the Bengals a week ago. 20-10. Dallas over Philadelphia, and Detroit over Kansas City 7-6. Rather, the Steelers were beaten by Houston last week.
Stanley Wilson. Patrick Allen was there for the defense. Flag dropped back at the line of scrimmage. Amazing. These two teams, you know, it's a heated rivalry.
There is no penalty. 82 reported as an ineligible.
What they do in that case, where 82, the tight end will move inside, and he has to report ineligible, and a tackle moves outside, he has to report eligible.
Well, what he will actually do, he will step on the line of scrimmage, making himself ineligible.
But he has to report that he's going to do that.
Right, and not Max Montoya, but Anthony Munoz will be on the line of scrimmage, but he is an eligible receiver in that case.
That's what I said.
Yeah, but he doesn't have to move inside, just on the ball.
No, but he has to report it.
Right, exactly.
I mean, you can't sneak around and do that. Meanwhile, James Brooks went outside of the 30-yard line for no gain. It'll be 3rd down and 5. That's what you can't. They kind of ruled out sneaky plays.
Well, that's what they've done.
You know, from the sidelines would step on the field of play. Grimsley making that.
78 eligible, 82 ineligible.
Right. Now the key to this is that Boomer Esiason, when he has this unbalanced line, is reading Jeff Donaldson, the safety for the Houston Oilers. He will run away from him. The reason being is that when they change that formation with the ineligible, it changes the strength of the defense.
It also means that Munoz is an eligible receiver. While we were going through all that, Wilson is dropped for a loss by Johnny Meade.
And what they did was they ran away from Donaldson, but right into Johnny Meade with quite a play, beating the blocker up front and making a tackle in the backfield. That's the first time I can remember all day long that the Oilers made a play on the Bengals side of the line of scrimmage.
So Scott Fulhaig will be kicking. Kenny Johnson is the return man for Houston. He gets a return of any amount. Houston will have very good field position with 3:15 left to go in the 3rd, even though they do trail. Oops, it's a fake. Can you believe this?
Wait for some blocking.
A flag is down. Ray Horton goes 70 yards, but they're going to bring it back.
And Charlie, if you're sitting at home in Houston thinking they ran the clock up on this deal, that's not the case. The score up.
Yeah.
This was done during the week. Houston blocked 2 punts a week ago against the Steelers. They run a 10-man front, an all-out block. And during the week, they said to their punter, Sam White said, look, if you see the all-out block.
Number 51, 4th down.
If you see the all-out block on, audible the thing and throw a pass because it's a touchdown if you do it. So that's a play that's set up early in the week because of the way that Houston tries to block a punt.
And also, they play again later in the year. And this might mean that the Houston defense punting or special team aren't going to want to come quite as quick as they ordinarily might.
That's right.
Did you pick up the penalty? It was on Leon White, but I didn't get what the penalty was.
It was holding. It was holding.
Yeah. To throw again? Would you try it twice?
No, I wouldn't try it twice. Houston blocked 4 punts this year already. The NFL record is 5.
And here's pressure. They almost get this one. It is touched. It is loose, and it will be down. Kenny Johnson recovers it for Houston. Let's go back to the touchdown that was.
When they're back there, the punter says, hey, they're all up in front. We're throwing the football. He audibles. He actually plays the part of the quarterback. Horton sneaks downfield, grabs it, and there's nobody back there. There were 5 or 6 blockers behind him. The only one in front. There you see all the gaps. See, they're all going. Nobody's worried about the pass. Nobody's worried down there. Horton sneaks downfield. Good pass.
Pretty good throw.
A real good throw.
And a good move downfield.
Yeah, he had to get by Drury. And he did. Boy, what a shame. When you're a defensive back and get to catch a pass for a touchdown, they call it back. Oh.
Houston at their own 38-yard line following that 46-yard punt. And this pass is complete over the middle. And that is Curtis Duncan. Big gainer for the Oilers. We still have time. 2:38 left to go in the 3rd. Time that is for Houston to get back in the ballgame.
Here's a look at it. The deep zone of the Cincinnati Bengals allows this pass crossing pattern underneath, as you see. And Duncan with very good speed outruns a couple of defensive backs on his way to a big gain.
23 yards. You know, you expect to see a lot of penalties when Houston and Cincinnati play. You expect to see a lot of penalties when Houston plays against anybody.
How many have there been?
2 against the Oilers for 12 yards. 2 against Cincinnati for 20. Flag is down. Maybe I spoke too soon. And Highsmith is finally down. It's really been a clean, hard-hitting football game. This is the penalties coming into this game. Houston, they've been hit at 100 yards per game. And they have a comfortable margin in that category.
Yeah, normally, I mean, they're spotting another team 100 yards in penalties, and that means that you have to have superior talent. Anytime you have this many yards in penalties every game, you've got to outperform your opponent by that many yards. For example, Cincinnati today, if they were on average, would have a 62-yard advantage offensively beginning the football game, and that's something that you got to know that Jerry Glanville wants to turn around.
And that 5-yarder against the Oilers, and his first down 15, 44-yard line of Cincinnati. Moon's pass is complete at the 35-yard line. Drew Hill again with the reception. He's having a good ball game.
Well, remember, I mentioned earlier, I thought he'd have a good game only because with the big lead, it's those drop-back zones, and it's Hill who's going underneath the coverage to make all the catches.
5 receptions, 63 yards for Drew Hill. 2nd and 6. And Hill goes in motion. And now Gibbons shouts outside. And everybody is set. And it's the option and the pitch. We've seen a little of everything. Warren Moon on the option, the pitch to Highsmith. Cincinnati is trying to claim a fumble at the end of the play, I believe.
I think they're trying to.
No, there's a flag down. There's a flag.
Now watch the option. Watch Moon after he pitches the football. It's a good choice. He tries to make the block on Fullage.
First down.
And that's what it is. They call tripping on David Fulcher, number 33. And it was a good call.
Yeah. So with the penalty, suddenly we're at the 15-yard line of Cincinnati on a first down.
This is a trip. See, he kicked his leg up right at the end.
Kicked the legs up at the end. That's what's causing it.
And the official has to judge intent in that situation.
And he intended to trip him. I think he's right. Corner of the end zone. Drew Hill, no. And then Hill goes sliding down. Is he all right? Yeah, I think he's right.
That is dangerous over there, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
The beams and the wood, the whole deal. That is very dangerous.
You ought to put a net up, like a catch net.
Oh, something.
Like you have on aircraft.
That's ridiculous. That's, you know, certain fields you get bad out of bounds, and receivers, it's a nightmare for them. Let's see. One. No, the other foot goes out of bounds.
Another good call by the official.
Yeah, but
watch. Had a good ball game.
Yeah, they sure have. Look at
it. Ooh, yeah, that is dangerous.
It's bad enough to get hurt on the field of play. When you got to deal with a field that has that problem on the corner, and that is really a problem.
15-yard line, 2nd and 10. 1:14, time remaining, 3rd quarter. Moon has pressure. He gets it off. It is caught. Touchdown, Drew Hill. He got behind Fulcher, and Drew Hill has his first touchdown of the ball game and his 3rd of the year. And now Houston is just clawing their way back into this ball game.
Yeah, it's suddenly a 14-point game if they make this extra point. Looks like a similar play, Charlie. He went to the post and back to the corner, and he beats Fuller, number 33, on it. Same play, same position, as you know. Same corner. Drew Hill did not have a catch in the first half. Now he's got 6 catches for 77 yards. Big second half.
And the extra point is good. And suddenly it's 35-21. And the Houston Oilers are within 2 touchdowns and 2 extra points of the Cincinnati Bengals. Now do you onside kick?
No.
I just keep bringing that up because I figure eventually you'll say yes, you finally got it right.
As we take a look at the 10-minute ticker once again, and that is Atlanta and the Giants, 10 points for the Falcons over New York. That is a big surprise. Minnesota easily over Tampa Bay. Buffalo now taking a late 7-point lead over New England, and Pittsburgh continually seeming to be dominating the Denver Broncos. Dallas on top of Philadelphia by 13, and Detroit edging Kansas City in a who cares game, 7-6.
Well, if you play for Detroit or Kansas City, you care.
Well, it's for a first-round draft pick is right. It may be Troy Aikman of UCLA the way he's been playing. And you know what it counts for when you're a member of a team that's playing poorly? Your job for next year. You're playing for next year.
So every game is important to somebody. Ira Hillary is the deep back on the return. And don't forget that the long touchdown pass from Fulhaig to Ray Horton was nullified because of a penalty. And so that took 7 off. Now the flag is in the air as the kick goes out of bounds, and Cincinnati will now have the ball at their own 35-yard line. On a first kick that goes out of bounds, the receiving team gets the ball 30 yards from where it was kicked off. That last drive of 62 yards in 5 plays took 1 minute and 39 seconds for Warren Moon. You saw him on the sideline, finally with a smile on his face.
Yeah, and that's the big problem. Not that they just scored, but they only took 1 minute and 39 seconds to do it. When you're the Bengals, you want them to go downfield and take as much time as possible. If they got to score, they got to score, but don't let them do it quickly. And the Oilers did it that time.
And if you're Houston Oilers, you want to score in even less time.
Exactly.
Cincinnati from their own 35-yard line. Now they'll have to go to work. Can't play a holding pattern here. Deep over the middle. It is tipped. Diving for the interception. No, it is incomplete. Game could become very interesting in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, this changes a lot of things. The one thing it changes, I don't think you'll see Drew Hill making as many catches underneath the coverage.
Eddie Brown went up for it.
This time it's Eddie Brown. The ball bounced around. He threw right in the middle of his own, but he was accurate with it. Now what happens to it? Oh, slips right through. And Eddie Brown claims, hey, I got it back. That doesn't count that way.
2nd and 10 at the 35-yard line.
But this will change because the Bengals defense won't be able to play those, that won't want to play those deep zones any longer. And that's, in that sense, it changes the entire complexity of the contest.
52 seconds left to go in the third. Cincinnati leading by 14 points. Knocked away. Good defensive play. Steve Brown made the defensive play. Riggs, the intended receiver. At one time in the ball game, Cincinnati was up with 9 seconds left in the first quarter. Cincinnati was up 28-0. Since then, Cincinnati has added only 1 more touchdown.
There's Ray Childress, number 79, working inside. Now watching, he has a shot at Boomer. Does he take it? No, because the ball is away. And he knows the flag is coming if he doesn't let up. And he does. It's exactly the way it should be done.
3rd and 10. With great protection, fumbles the ball. Houston recovers it. Doug Smith comes up with it. And I tell you something, the Oilers are right in the middle of this thing.
They are now. And the offensive lineman, you see him coming off the field. They're a little bit upset. That was Joe Walton, number 63, yelling because this protection is terrific. Take a look at it. Montoya is 65 inside. Munoz blocking inside. He's got all the time in the world. Nobody is around him. But watch what happens. He lets go of the football as he's coming down to the ground. It just slips out of his hands. And it's Doug Smith, 99, who comes up with it for Houston.
And the turnovers are even at 4 on each side. 22-yard line. Here's pressure. It is incomplete. Was putting on the pressure. Pinkett, the intended receiver, will be 2nd and 10 at the Cincinnati 22-yard line.
Well, they try to set up a middle screen this time. See, the offensive lineman comes straight through. They are allowed to do so, but it's Williams, 57, in the middle, who reads it, because if he does not, that's a big gainer for Houston.
Warren Moon, first half, 3 of 10, 26 yards. Second half, 8 of 15, 108 yards, 2 touchdowns. Total, 11 of 25, 154 yards and 2 touchdowns. 2nd and 10. 30 seconds to go in the third. Corner, knocked away. Good defensive play. We have seen some exceptional defensive plays. This one by Eric Thomas, who has 2 interceptions. Givens, the intended receiver. We've seen good coverage in the secondary by both the Oilers and the Bengals.
Oh, very good coverage. This is the same pattern we saw earlier that Hill ran. He didn't sell him to the post enough. That's the problem with it. He's got to go deeper to the post. And a great play by Thomas because he uses his left hand to knock it away. That's the toughest play in football for a defensive back. The ball being thrown to the outside, having to use your left hand to reach in and tip it away.
Assuming, of course, that he is right-handed.
That's right. You're absolutely correct.
3rd down and 10. Still in motion. Now he's down. 3 wide receivers on the far side. Crowd back in the ball game. Rozier, 1st down, 11-yard line. 3rd down and 10.
And that's a gutsy call by the Oilers.
Really. It really is.
Yeah, a little bit of a delay. And Rozier shows you some of the toughness. When he first came into football, the untrained eye said, gee, how tough is this guy? Well, let me tell you something. He's tough. Watch him run over the last couple of guys just to get the 1st down, and he does it. Fuller, number 33, trying to make the tackle, but it does not happen.
That's the end of the 3rd quarter. Cincinnati leads it 35-21. Back after these messages from your local station. Houston 21. The Oilers at the Bengals 12-yard line. What a comeback Houston is shaping. Down 28-0 at the end of the 1st quarter. Rozier to the 10. 2nd down and 8. Let's check the other score. You know this one, and it's getting closer. New Orleans big over the Raiders. Atlanta big over the Giants. Minnesota big over Tampa Bay. Buffalo little over Pittsburgh running away from Denver. That is a surprise. Dallas over Philadelphia, and Detroit little bitty over Kansas City. Rozier, 18 carries, 73 yards, and a touchdown. 2nd down and 8. I didn't realize he carried the ball that much. From the shotgun. Moon has pressure. He fumbles. It is picked up by Steinkühler, who was back to block for him. And a costly play for the Houston Oilers. Tim Crumrod was putting the pressure on for Cincinnati.
Well, Moon a week ago was not touched by the Pittsburgh Steelers defense, but it is Jim Scow. The 3rd sack of the day on Moon. Steinkühler coming in to make sure at least that the Oilers stay in position to kick a field goal if need be.
A loss of 18 yards on the play. Back to the 28-yard line. Moon goes deep to the end zone. Incomplete. Oh, Drew Hill almost had the touchdown.
And that is as perfect a throw that could be made under the circumstance. Pressure right in his face, a zone coverage, 3 people all around, and that's got to be caught by Drew Hill.
Oh, yeah.
Watch this by Moon. Take a look at the shot he takes at the end. Moon gets hit just as he's able to throw the football, knocked around like a pinball
machine.
But a great throw.
And now a 45-yard field goal attempt by Tony Zendejas, who is fighting his way out of a big slump. He's hit his last 2 in a row. No good. Zendejas misses from 45 yards away. We'll be back in a moment. This is Charlie Jones and Jimmy Cefalo at the end of the 1st quarter. Cincinnati 28 and Houston nothing. It's 35-21 now. Houston has won the last 3 games against the Bengals by scores of 4 points, 3 points, and 4 points. Total of 11 points, 32-28, 31-29, and 21-17. Stanley Wilson. I'm impressed by Houston. They played very difficult, hard football to come from behind. They have not lost their cool. Key play if Cincinnati goes on to win.
Yeah, we'll remember this one if Cincinnati goes on to win this football game. Jim Scow, number 70, with the pressure on Warren Moon. They were certainly in position to grab a field goal, but this knocked them out. Steinkühler getting the football, at least allowing the Oilers to attempt it. Of course, Zendejas missed it, but Scow with the biggest play of the contest thus far for the Cincinnati Bengals.
Patrick Allen and Keith Bostic making the last tackle, a gain of 4. The second down and 6. 1987, 31-29.
And the Oilers scored 17 points in the fourth quarter to pull that one out.
And here's Brooks up to the 40, the 45-yard line. Gain of 13 yards on the play and a first down. Jeff Donaldson made the tackle. Donaldson, by the way, with 2 interceptions in the ball game, and a player down for Houston.
That is Sean Jones. No, that is Doug Smith. Excuse me, number 99, down for the Houston Oilers.
So that stops the clock with 12:25 left to go in the game. We'll be back in just a moment. The head coach of the Houston Oilers always leaves tickets for somebody. Whom did he leave tickets for here?
I don't know.
Oh, yes, you do.
Oh, of course I do. It's Lonnie Anderson, formerly of WKRP in Cincinnati.
Did he leave one for Bert?
I don't think so.
I left one for Lonnie.
Solo trick, I think. He really has done an exceptional job today, hasn't he?
Oh, I think it's the best coaching job I've seen him do.
Very calm, very cool, very collected, and his team is back in it.
Yeah. First down, Cincinnati at their own 45-yard line. And here's Brooks. He was about a yard there, and he ended up with 4 to the 49. Second down and 6. Ray Childress with the tackle.
Now it's up to the linebacking crew of the Houston Oilers to stop the running attack of the Bengals as we take a look at the 10-minute ticker.
Any changes? New Orleans leading, Atlanta leading, Minnesota leading.
Just a couple of bigger leads by Minnesota and by the Oilers. Or excuse me, by the Saints.
Do you have more for me?
On what?
Oh, there you are.
Oh, there you are.
Oh, look at that. New England Buffalo tie. You were waiting for that change. That just happened. Dallas and Detroit still by 1. Here it is, Cincinnati 35, Houston 21. 11:14 left in the ball game. Brooks. And he is bumped out at the 46-yard line. That'll stop the clock. Has 3. It'll be third down and 3. And Doug Smith is the man who gets credit for the defensive play.
And Doug Smith, the injured player for the Bengals just a couple of moments ago, obviously healthy and back into the contest.
He has a sack and a fumble recovery. "15 seconds on the 30-second clock. Sometimes 45, but sometimes 30. Now 4 seconds. Using up all of that clock. Stanley Wilson. "28-yard line, 18 yards, first down."
I think the best game being played today by the Bengal offensive line. Max Montoya has had a terrific game. Let's look at him again. Working against number 79, Ray Childress. 65, Montoya just doing a great job of turning him in. See him turn him inside, and that's what allowed Stanley Wilson to zoom upfield and get a big first down. Because, again, this game keeps turning and turning and turning it, doesn't it? Now
it is twisting and turning in the wind.
Now with the Bengals with an opportunity to once again seemingly put this thing away.
At the 28-yard line of Houston, first down. 10 minutes, 20 seconds and counting. We'll play action. Esiason pump fake. Ball is loose. Houston has it. They may rule it down. They're going to rule it down. No fumble. At the 15-yard line. First down.
And Esiason taking a bit of a gamble. He had 2 choices. To cut upfield and get a couple more yards, or to go outside and step out of bounds. He decided the former, going upfield. He was bobbling it right there, but it's a dangerous play. He was on the ground, however, when the ball popped out. Here's his options now. Montoya in front, number 65. Cuts upfield. Now, he can make a cut to the left because he's got a blocker out there around Donaldson. 30. That's not Donaldson. That's Meads, number 91. Excuse me. But the ball is on the ground when it pops out.
15-yard line, first down. Bobbling the ball through is Wilson. Did not have a firm grasp on the football after the handoff. Childress with the tackle. 10-yard line, gain of 5.
He's been taking lessons from Boomer, huh? Max Montoya, In my book, all-pro, yes. Well, take a look at him. 65, Montoya working downfield on Childress on the center and mopping up on Meads, number 91, helping out on him at least, allowing Wilson to keep his hands on the football. Bobbling goes through the line of scrimmage. If you get good blocking formation at the point of attack, the running back has a chance to recover, and that's what happened there. If not, it may be Houston ball.
8 minutes and 50 seconds remaining. 2nd and 5. Brooks, 3 plays. Now the corner. Does it get in? No. Almost.
He's going for number 4.
Yard away. First down goal to go. Jeff Donaldson turned him away at the goal line. Would you give it to Brooks and let him go for 4?
Well, he's coming out of the gate, so I guess not.
It's hard.
I cheated.
78 eligible.
Now they're changing that formation again where Anthony Munoz becomes an eligible receiver. Do you throw to him here?
No, I don't think so. They call this the Weebies formation. They put all the big offensive linemen in as tight ends, that kind of a thing.
Big back, Dickie Woods and Wilson.
Now, Munoz has caught 4 touchdown passes in his career. I told you he was agile, but I think they'll run it here.
And Brooks has rushed for 102 yards. And into the end zone is Dickie Woods with his 2nd touchdown of the ball game. A 72-yard drive in 9 plays. Seven minutes and 55 seconds left.
See Sam White continually teaching, talking to Ickey Woods, who had fumbled a couple of times earlier. He's back there building up his confidence after he makes the big play with the touchdown.
And Breach with the extra point. Cincinnati 42, Houston 21.
And Sam White's always the teacher, always the motivator there with Riggs as tight end. A little slap on the helmet, a bit of confidence, a little bit of a boost, and a real motivator. That's the kind of a coach Sam White has developed into.
Lee Johnson to kick off, with Duncan the deep back on the return. Duncan takes it at the 1. He got to the 10. And gets to the 25, the 30. And then Chris Collinsworth, who had requested to be on special teams because he hadn't seen that much action, now as the 3rd wide receiver, makes the play and gets the congratulations from everybody, and particularly from his offensive buddies.
Yeah, that man is part linebacker, I'll tell you that. Take a look at Collinsworth. I mean, part linebacker. Wide receivers don't do this kind of thing, all right? I can tell you. I never asked to be put on a special team in my life. In fact, as I got smarter, I got off him. But Chris Collinsworth's a very intelligent young man, and he's got to be part linebacker.
Houston with the ball at their own 35-yard line. 7:42 left in the ball game. They trail by 3 touchdowns and 3 extra points. Trying to pop Alonzo Highsmith loose. He's got a flag on the play. And the penalty will go against Houston. David Grant made the tackle for Cincinnati.
Holding, number 74. First down.
Holding on Bruce Matthews. So it goes back to the 25. It'll be first down and 20.
So you talk about great offensive linemen. Bruce Matthews caught on that holding call, but he has been compared to John Hanna, former New England Patriot, long considered the greatest offensive lineman ever to play this game. And Bruce Matthews stacks up to that. He's some kind of a player.
And the penalty yard is very, very low. Been a good ball game. Good hard-fought ball game. Warren Moon, and it's incomplete, and it'll be second down and 20. That penalty really hurt Houston, given the intended receiver Billups with the coverage.
Yeah, Highsmith had a good gain working on that as we take a look at the 10-minute tickers.
All right, I'll do this one. New Orleans in front, Atlanta in front of the Giants, Minnesota in front of Tampa Bay. New England Buffalo is still tied. That may be the best ball game going. Denver's creeping back a little at Pittsburgh, but they may be running out of time. Dallas and Philadelphia, Detroit and Kansas City. That's now a final.
It was a final before they kicked that thing off.
I think you're right. And here it is, 42-21, Cincinnati. Moon goes deep, and it is incomplete. Curtis Duncan. Now, Warren Moon deserves a better fate. Drew Hill dropped one in the end zone. Duncan had that one, a couple of others, other possibilities. You're just shaking your head.
Well, I'm trying to figure out why he would be alone down there, as Warren Moon shakes his head, too.
I'm trying to figure out why he dropped it.
Well, they had somebody in the middle of the field. Solomon Wilcox, the weak safety, was back there, but Duncan had the opportunity to make a catch. You're right, Charlie. He touched it, and that means it's a drop. That's what they used to tell us.
Well, no, but that's a catchable ball.
That's a catchable football. You're absolutely right. But I think that the Bengals have got to get two deep safeties back there to make sure that they don't get a one-on-one opportunity to get a quick score.
Third down conversion, Houston 3 of 12. It's 3rd and 20. They try the far side. Double coverage there, knocked away. Good defensive play. Wilcox was there for Cincinnati. Drury, the intended receiver. Ricky Dixon was also there.
They went to that two-safety position that time. They split the field in half. Man-to-man coverage underneath. Two safeties back, way back deep. And that's why Moon is not able to have that much room to throw this football in. Now Wilcox only has half the field to worry about. And still nearly a good throw by Moon. Almost got it in, but the defensive back's hard to see it. Was a Dixon who got his hand on it underneath. Still, it's a nice throw by Moon. That's a tough position to be in.
Greg Montgomery to kick. Ira Hillary is the return man. 4th down and 20. Taken at the 25-yard line. And 5 yards on the return to the 30. $50 yards in the kick with that 5-yard return. 6:46 left in the ball game. Cincinnati on top by a score of 42-21. And the second half of the doubleheader, the New York Jets at Miami, Seattle at the Los Angeles Rams, and Cleveland at Phoenix.
You know, there's been a lot of pushing and shoving around here, but I don't think it's real smart to get into a fight with Tim Crumry. That's Johnson, number 22. Because Tim Crumry is one of those, you know, in-your-face kind of people. You know, real tough, a scrapper, strong, tough upfield. I wouldn't pick him.
Cincinnati now from their own 30-yard line. Wilson breaks the tackle, and he goes to the 36. It'll be 2nd down and 4. William Fuller with the tackle. Prior to that carry, Cincinnati had 39 rushes. They now have 40. They had a total of 201 yards rushing, the most rushing yards against the Oilers this year.
Well, the Bengals, or excuse me, the Oilers had stopped 5 of 7 opponents from reaching 100 yards in rushing.
Yeah, they're the 3rd best rushing defense in the league.
And that's a credit to the offensive line of the Bengals.
Of course, also it's a change in the fact of the way the scoring happened.
Yeah.
When you're up front 28-0 after the first quarter, then you're going to run the ball a lot because you want to use up the clock as much as anything else. That has an effect. Stanley Wilson.
But the other side of that is that the Oilers knew the Bengals were going to run the football, and as I mentioned, I thought they had to do some blitzing, some little stunts in front. So they knew they were going to have to run the ball, and the Bengals were successful at doing it anyway.
Meanwhile, James Brooks for Cincinnati has officially rushed for 103 yards.
And 67.
Again, they're announcing that Munoz and let's see, who else is in there, Charlie, is I guess it's not congestion. It might be a Reimers. The Weebies, they call them. Weebie Big. That's what they are. The offensive linemen will go in on 3rd and short yardage situation, play tight end.
First down, Nicky Wood. I'd call them theirs. They are big. 47-yard line.
I think Wood has to be considered a front runner for Rookie of the Year.
National Football League rules require that we present away games starting with the opening kickoff, so to stations, the back home stations, and to the team's home area. So viewers in Cleveland will be leaving this telecast in just a moment for a telecast involving their home team, and we will continue to bring you reports on this game to keep you up to date. Cincinnati at their own 47-yard line, first down. 4:28 and counting, time remaining. With the score, Cincinnati 42 and Houston 21. James Brooks for a yard. Second down and 9. William Fuller with the tackle. Houston now faces Washington at home and then Cleveland, and Cincinnati faces Cleveland and Pittsburgh. It's kind of, in a lot of respects, the heart of the race in the Central Division, right at the middle of the season. After tomorrow night's game, we will officially be at the halfway mark of the 1988 season.
Yeah, it's gone quickly, hasn't it?
It really has. Well, we missed 4 games.
Yeah, Big and Soul helped.
At the Olympics as well. That did hurry it along.
Yes, it did.
Second and 9. Brooks is dropped from behind.
You know, it was unusual about being in Seoul. We were able to keep up with football because we saw live football games on the Armed Forces Network over there. We would watch NFL Live at 2:30 a.m. on a Monday morning. I was just getting off work. Some of us worked hard on the and the football game at 3.
Oh, yeah. You walked in, you did 3 hours, all ad-lib, and then you left. And the rest were out there slaving all day.
Yeah, Charlie, how many races did you call over there?
153 plus 2 marathons involving 1,676 athletes.
That really is a
160 countries.
That's a marathon of its own, isn't it?
It's a lot. At a dollar a race, I'm ahead of the game. Yeah.
That's right. They gave me $1 an hour. So
Third down and 10. Knocked away. So it will be fourth down. 2:45 time remaining.
And will we see the pass from this punt formation? Because you know the Oilers are coming all out to try to block this kick.
But perhaps the fact that we saw it earlier will detain them just that split second.
Right, and you know that's an important game in this contest because even though the play was called back because of holding, it does prevent the Oilers from coming all out. And Fullhag, you know, he's playing, please do that again because I want to throw a touchdown pass for real.
Here they come, pressure. Oh, barely gets it away. And rolls to the 15, the 14, the 13, the 12. Almost the 11-yard line.
Ray Horton trying to call the threes.
And there was a lot of pressure.
Yeah, now, Fullhag, remember the rule states that if the ball is tipped, the punter is fair game. And it is slightly touched. And he does not get touched anyway.
Everybody misses it.
Yeah, they missed him. Looked like it was tipped. The flight of the ball seemed to change just a little bit.
So with 2:25 left, and following that 42-yard punt, most of it on the ground, Houston has the ball first down at their own 11-yard line. Cincinnati led 28-0 at the end of the first quarter. 35-21 after 3. Highsmith was there.
You know, Alonzo Highsmith, when I first met him when he was in high school, he was a water boy for the Dolphins, along with Mike Shula. They were teammates, and both Mike and Alonzo would come by and, you know, take care of towels and that kind of thing. Who knew that he was going to grow up to be one of the finest fullbacks in the NFL?
2-minute warning will now be given to both benches. Cincinnati 42, Houston 21. We're back in Cincinnati. The Bengals up by 21 points, assuming that they do go ahead and win it. What does this do to the race in the Central Division?
Well, this was vital for the Bengals because they're going to play Cleveland next week in Cleveland. And
Kozar's back.
Right, Kozar is back, so it's an important contest for them. It gives them a 2-game cushion over this club, over the Houston Oilers, and that was vital. With only 8 games remaining, if they can keep a 2-game edge for the next couple of weeks, they can relax a lot.
It does something else too. They lost last week at New England. They came back right after the loss.
Right. It keeps that 6-game winning streak at the beginning of the season very, very alive and well because their confidence has been sky high.
Moon, it's fumble in the end zone. If Cincinnati recovers and got another score, it will be a safety. They could not find the handle. The impetus was put on the ball by the fumble of Warren Moon. Everybody else just kind of deflected it in a particular direction.
Yeah, and I think at the end you'll see Skip McClendon, number 72, and he's reading touchdown all over.
Oh.
Bruce Matthews helped him out by getting it out. That's Jason Buck at the end trying to hop on it, and 6 points for a defensive lineman. A true dream that slipped away.
So a 2-point safety, and it'll be a 44-21 ball game. And Houston will have a free kick, as we'll check the report card.
For Moon, a tough day. He had some spark there in the third quarter, but just 12 of 31. Rozier, surprisingly, with 18 carries, quite a few yards. And Hill, all of those receptions came in the third quarter. Zendejas 0 for 1. He's been having trouble during this season, and uncharacteristically for him.
Bill Schwarberg and Mike Leonard are 2 spotters. The 21st year with NBC. By Jove, I was 9 years old when we first worked together, wasn't I?
Were you really, Charlie? I was 10.
You were 10. Neil Vindesky, our statistician. Vindesky, no, it's Vindesky. Good job. Thank you, gentlemen. And you have the Bengals report card.
Yeah, the Bengals, Boomer Esiason did not have to throw that often because they got the big early lead, 11-20 for 154. Didn't throw a touchdown, which kind of surprises me. And how about James Brooks with 3 touchdowns, nearly missed a 4th, 102 yards rushing. And receiving, he was the busy man as well with 3 catches for 39 yards.
And following the safety, Greg Montgomery will be punting. Moon was sacked 4 times, and he lost 57 yards in that category. And in a free kick, you have the option of punting. And Hillary on the return. And is down at the 25-yard line. Did he lose his footing?
No, he dropped down, which is not a bad move at all. The thing you don't want to do is get a big hit on a kickoff return, cough the football up. That's not a bad move at all.
And Turk Schoner is now the quarterback for the Cincinnati Bengals. First action in this ball game. Has not thrown this year, but he has rushed 1 time for 7 yards.
And Schoner, you might
not in this ball game. That was in another ball game.
Right. Schoner, you might
go into the record book to double check that.
I'm sorry, Charlie.
Go ahead.
Turk Schoner was...
I don't pay any attention to it. I just keep right on going.
He was traded to the Atlanta Falcons by this Bengal team, subsequently cut by Atlanta and picked up by the Bengals to be Boomer Esiason's backup QB.
And he'll be handing off the football here. As Mark Logan is the ball carrier. Al Smith makes the tackle. That is Mark Logan's first carry from scrimmage this year. He is in his 2nd season, the number 5 draft choice a year ago. 2nd down and 9, a gain of 1. Here's a look at the numbers, and the big hand on the left side is counting down to 1 minute left to go. So Cincinnati will be going to 7-1, and Houston's record will be 5-3. Ickey Wood.
And what a turnaround for this Bengal team. A year ago, 4-11. And, of course, everyone in the world was trying to write about Sam White being ridden out of town. Sure enough, they are 7-1.
I have the winner. No, I don't have the winner. I thought I had the winner of the MVP. Now we're taking the countdown. There's 25 seconds on the clock. And now it is time for the Most Valuable Player Award, sponsored by Budweiser. Today's MVP is Max Montoya. And Budweiser will make a contribution to the United Way on behalf of all the MVPs selected in today's game. He really is outstanding.
Yeah, he did. I mean, he did it all today. James Brooks with 3 touchdowns, over 100 yards rushing. He did it all behind Max Montoya, a lot of it. Moved people away, and it's about time an offensive lineman gets credit where credit is due.
And we have now taken the official countdown. We are out of time. The final score is written in the record book. It is Cincinnati 44 and Houston 21.
And Reggie Williams enjoying the success. The Bengals have not been to the Super Bowl since 1981. Certainly dreams of Super Bowls dance in the heads of Bengals and their fans.
So in the AFC Central Division, Cincinnati's record is 7-1. Houston's record is now 5-2.
The Bengals, a surprising game in many ways. We expected, of course, a much tighter contest. Gary Glanville did. I think Oilers fans did. They were humiliated by the Jets early in the season, 45-3. But they seem to have recovered from that. Here, they are put away easily by the Cincinnati Bengals.
Houston tried to come back. They got close, but it got away from them. They return home. Next Sunday night, they'll be hosting the Washington Redskins. That could be a very good ball game. Yeah,
it really is. A tough contest for them once again. But the Oilers, under Jared Glanville,